It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, here we go. On a wet and wild Wednesday, we got my man TLC at the switches. The Iceman is on the mend.
The Iceman cooling off.
Indeed. I didn't know bad backs were contagious, but he has one. He limped out of here yesterday as he waddled out like the penguin. I gave him a recommendation of anti-inflammatory and decompression and relaxation, and that's it. And that he'll dovetail that into Thursday and Friday off. As I announced it, or as I talked about it earlier, there was somebody that said to me, do you think he's trying to amplify the back injury into a Thursday and Friday off, which would then give him a 5-day week end? And I would say, no, my man is A, he's not a liar, and B, he's not that good of an actor. I don't think he was amplifying that TLC yesterday. He suffered the same deal down in New Orleans and then didn't go out with CB and me that night as we went to Bourbon Street.
Oh, so you know it was real then.
Well, or maybe he just didn't feel like going to Bourbon Street. I don't know. We did a lot of walking that night.
Wow. Now, you know that he's complained on this show about being called sir by some of the youngins out there in the metro area. I mean, you deserve to be called sir if you're calling it a night when you got the one big vacation on your work schedule that you guys all get to go down to Radio Row. You get to go to a new city. I don't know if he's been to New Orleans before, but
I don't think so.
Then I imagine it's a new city, and he's just going to check out for the evening?
On the company, too.
No kidding.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He had a legit back injury.
So I'll take him at his word that he was injured there, and I'll take him at his word that he was injured yesterday because it wasn't just on the air talking about it. It was back there. I caught him just straight up limping to the fridge. He was walking to the fridge just to get whatever he brought
on
to work.
Hands and knees to get his broccoli and almonds.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Because that's probably what it was.
Man would crawl a mile for broccoli and almonds. This is what I think it is. First of all, I also think that the second thing that was accused, and this was maybe by you, is that he was ducking the Schefter interview at 12:30 because today was the day he was supposed to call him out for being in on the O's the Mentalist tricks of the trade.
Yes. And honestly, when I saw that text this morning, when he said, fellas, I can't go, I got to go to the chiropractor, I wanted to text back the first response. I wanted it to be, oh, so you're ducking Schefter so you don't have to accuse him of
We'll crack your back for you right in here, live on the air.
Yeah, but no, he's actually in some serious pain, so I didn't want to be the first response, but I did wait a little bit, but I did say
I think he may have missed an endorsement possibility. If we would have brought a Cairo in live on the air or put him in the teeter right here on the air and decompressed him here in the studio.
In one of those inversion tables?
That's right. Basically just stretch him out.
He can broadcast the show upside down.
Separate the vertebrae live on the air. I think he missed an opportunity.
Do you know how long you're allowed to do that? Because isn't all the blood going to rush to your head? And that could be...
Oh, listen, what's the difference? So he passes out a little bit. So he sits a segment out.
You know what? Good radio.
So he falls asleep on the air. Has that ever been done? I mean, come on. That'd be fine. So I'll take care of Schefter here at 12:30 because he knows I'm a Mentalist fan with O's. I was asking Reeser about it on the way out. He's like very indifferent about it. Doesn't seek it out, barely watches it. I told him what he did yesterday. And he's like, oh, that's cool. And then Reeser's like, well, maybe he's just telepathic. I'm like, yeah, that would be the reason you would believe that it's true. That he can actually read people's minds. It seems impossible to the normal person. And I've said this before about O's. What makes him less believable is that he sounds too normal. If he had kind of a David Blaine weird vibe, doesn't talk much, had a kind of a weird voice, and he just wasn't just a normal dude who you could have a conversation with, I think he sometimes... That's what makes him less believable, that he seems too normal to have that gift. I think you almost have to be really strange to have it.
He does seem really passionate about his work. He has like this real high energy delivery. And I got to check my email now because I don't believe that I heard back from his representation. I emailed the representation yesterday. I said, hey, a couple options that we'd be interested would either be a station, and these were lies, by the way, would be a station-wide staff performance, or it could be an on-air just with the 2 midday host performance. What kind of cost would that run us? I have yet to hear back from his representation.
Okay.
But we were trying to figure out hypothetically just how much this dude makes.
What we do is we take Matty's per diem that he didn't spend in New Orleans, and we put it towards that. By the way, the other thing that was true, and we'll have Schefter on at 12:30, the other thing that was confirmed yesterday is that Aaron Rodgers is a married man.
Love is in the air.
That he revealed it at minicamp. Remember when he was going like wedding band on, wedding band off? That it's been a couple of months. And he told reporters that he was in fact wearing the wedding ring. Not that he has to provide any additional information. He didn't. He went on his boy McAfee's show in April and claimed he was in a serious relationship. We knew he had family stuff going on, but we thought it was more serious than celebratory.
Yeah, he
made it sound like, I don't know if I'm going to play football because I've got some family stuff to deal with almost.
I think he hinted at health issues, and he didn't specify who, but just people in his life. So someone was suffering a health issue. I think he may have mentioned that on Rogan. But
yeah, personal matters.
So it seemed pretty serious. But
it's a combo platter then. That he celebrated getting married and was also dealing with people in his inner circle battling difficult stuff. The summer of Rodgers. So now everyone's trying to dig in, and he's trying to keep everything private. That because he's only mentioning her by first name, Brittany, and that was it. And he clarified that she spelled her name with an I. That was it. That he did get married in the offseason. Listen, he's dated Olivia Munn. He's dated Danica Patrick. He's dated Shailene Woodley, the actress. They were engaged, I think, for a minute in time.
I was about to say, because I'm pretty sure when he won the MVP award, they had the NFL honors during COVID. They had some like sort of virtual thing. And I remember, I think he like subtly mentioned that he was engaged in passing with like no notice whatsoever. So I don't think this is the first time he's been engaged.
All right. So we know he's a married man with the Steelers. Yesterday, he also claimed that the reason he picked Pittsburgh was not the history, not the uniforms, not, AFC. It was more of the coach.
A big attraction was Mike Tomlin. I've gone against him over the years. The way that the conversations went between him and I, between whatever it was in March or April, the last Sunday when I called him, was some of the coolest conversations I've had in the game. Definitely with the head coach. So he's a big reason I'm here. I believe in him and excited to play for him. And I just appreciated the way that he treated me throughout the process.
Okay. He likes him. They winked at each other during games and all that. He respects him. That's got to help going into this. They're both, in a way, looking for the same thing. It's kind of like the Moneyball thing, that Tomlin's looking to win again, and Aaron's looking to milk the last ounce of great football he has left in him.
So he's David Justice?
Yep, that's right. Set an example. Can you do that for me? That's it. That's really what it is.
It is pretty true. I assume that this is his final year in the NFL, unless he's awesome this year, unless he really turns back the clock. And we can play some audio in the next segment about one ESPN personality who thinks that he's really due up for some victories. But I am under the impression that with how long this took, are we just going to do this every single year? I know Brett Favre retired and unretired like 3 different times, but for this to drag out as long as it has to literally June, when free agency starts in March, that is a long time for a team to not know who their quarterback is. That's just out of the ordinary. So that leads me to believe that we're probably coming to the end this year.
What it tells me is that Mike Tomlin believes a lot more in Aaron Rodgers than he does what he has on his team right now.
As he should.
He may have believed there was a future with Justin Fields, but the money wasn't right, or Fields' personal feelings towards the Steelers led to the emotional exit of that. But if he's tying his season to Aaron Rodgers, then he absolutely believes that he's better than what he has. Now, and if he was the third choice, now, if he was behind Fields, that's different to me. I don't know if Rodgers is better than Fields or Fields is better than Rodgers on any given Sunday. Nobody knows that. But this is very interesting to me that the reality is that Rodgers, who's not anywhere close to MVP category and maybe a health risk week to week, is the guy that he's going to sink all of his chips into.
Yeah, and for me, there are two comparisons to make, and we kind of bounce back and forth. It's like when you compare, when you play the expectations game with the Steelers, and what do you compare it to? Do you compare it to what they would have had in Mason Rudolph, or do you compare it to what last year was with Russell Wilson? I don't think they've gotten that much better than last year. I think it's kind of the same ceiling, about 500, probably make the playoffs, just backing in and probably get blown out by a really good team, perhaps the Ravens like we saw last year. But compared to what you have, yes, if the alternative was Mason Rudolph until you get tired of him and then bench him for Will Howard, I do think that you have a higher ceiling and a higher floor with Aaron Rodgers. Not to say, but not to say that you're going to hit the ceiling, because you might hit the floor and you might go, 6-11, and then Will Howard might play anyway. But the ceiling is definitely higher than what you had.
It is. Of course it is. And the difference is that certain cities and certain franchises will never actually wave the white flag. That they won't. They won't ever go into a total rebuild, because they could have. They could have said, Aaron, we don't need you. We're going to go with Mason because he's got some experience. And then if things aren't successful with him, we're going to Will Howard. We're going to see what we have with this kid. And we're going to let him take his lumps, and we're going to have a bad season. Maybe we have a 5-6 win season. Tomlin is finally under 500. The pick is better, and maybe the future is brighter. But they're not doing it. Certain cities, certain teams, certain ownership, they just can't get. And I do respect that part of it.
Because I think it's beneath them.
Because they're in the competition business, and they don't believe in handing seasons away. But from an organizational standpoint, it's probably not the best way to run it. Big picture. Probably just to hang on to 8-9 wins. But that's who they are, and that's who they will continue to be. One analyst hates that they're in this purgatory. You'll hear that next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores, so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Save big on eggs. Right now, 18-count cartons of large grade A Kroger brand eggs are just $3.49 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Matty Ice here from McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Are you looking for an affordable family car? Then the Chevy Traverse is for you. This month at McDaniel GM Superstore, you can get up to $3,000 off MSRP on a 2025 Traverse. Plus, qualified buyers can finance at 6.8% for 72 months. They are just a short drive north of Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. McDaniel GM Superstore, where great deals meet a century of trust. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Stay hydrated. It's hot out there. So my teenage son just went out in sweatpants and a hoodie. It's 98 degrees. At least I know he'll be cool in our house, thanks to Atlas Butler. If something goes wrong, they'll fix it within 24 hours. They call it their comfort pledge. Get too hot?
My phone.
Oh, your phone. Should have known.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Hi, I'm Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers.
And I'm his very overpaid celebrity endorser, Common Man. Bob, I heard somewhere, actually from you many, many times, that Worthington Jewelers is where Columbus gets engaged.
It's too bad you and Timmy can't engage the audience.
Good zing, Bob.
If you're thinking of popping the question, there's only one place to go.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington. WorthingtonJewelers.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
This summer, elevate your backyard barbecue game with Napoleon Grills from Billiards Plus in Dublin. Experience the power of Napoleon's infrared sizzle zone, reaching up to 1,800 degrees in just 30 seconds for that perfect steakhouse sear. Stay connected with the Napoleon Home app. Monitor up to 3 temperature probes, all from your smartphone. Built to last with premium steel, the grilling season never ends with Napoleon Grills from Billiards Plus. Visit Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin and transform your patio into a gourmet grilling paradise.
Ben Sadler, Assistant Vice President, Commercial Lending, on what makes First Bank of Central Ohio successful.
What we do as a community bank is really, listening to, that company, finding the solutions that best need their business and is not just a universal product that you could get anywhere else.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Learn the game, meet future stars, and have a blast at the Browns Youth Football Camps. In partnership with University Hospitals, the camps kick off Monday, June 16th. Go to browns.com/youthfootballcamps25 to sign up today.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding. Over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Make sure you have plenty of water as well as sunscreen in your bag as you head out the door today. We will have sunshine all day with afternoon highs in the mid to low 80s. Down into the 60s tonight with mostly clear skies, and then another day of sunshine and heat as we get temperatures up right around 90 degrees. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Anthony once got Jack Nicklaus to quote the movie Caddyshack, so he's got that going for him.
The last time I saw a mouth like that, I had a hook.
Which is nice. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Let's go while we're young.
Dylan Gabriel is first up with the starters again. Shedeur playing backup to the backup's backup. And I don't think it's anything to go crazy about. Shedeur threw the ball fine yesterday. He'll get his chance. This is all part of the not overreacting if you're ahead, as an organization, to set the narrative completely upside down at minicamp. Sanders will get plenty of chances in training camp. I don't think minicamp was the time to say, oh, he looks better, he should go up with the ones. I think they need to play out minicamp the 3 days. Each guy's going to get their chance. It just might not be in the order that people expected or want it. I don't think there's anything that's been written or said that Shedeur's flopping or that Dylan's flopping or that anything looks weird or out of order. The one thing you can say to get back to the Pittsburgh situation is that they showed everyone that they do not want a rookie quarterback. They have Will Howard. I get that. But they had a chance to take one early and didn't. So either they didn't think that these guys could change the franchise, which is the most likely, or that Tomlin will not want to start over right away, that he wanted a veteran. Because I'll ask Schefter at the bottom of the hour, how real was that pursuit of Matthew Stafford before he re-signed in L.A.? It seemed unrealistic to me. But if you go down the road of that you're a fan of a franchise that since Chuck Noll was the head coach in 1969. They finished with a losing record 9 times since 1970. And only once in the last 25 years. It's not what they're about. They're about well, it's weird. It's kind of counterintuitive because you could say they're about accountability, but with some of these receivers, they certainly haven't been. But they've gotten rid of them. You know, certain things you got to deal with receivers. But that culture of winning and what they're about has kind of forced this to be what it is. That he got himself an aging veteran to live with this year to keep the floor as high as possible. And maybe, like I said, milk the last great ounce of football Rodgers has in him. Because if you go back to this offseason, when Stafford didn't work out, and apparently they did try to re-sign Fields, but they didn't either want to spend the money or he didn't want to be there. Sam Darnold, I'm okay. That wasn't anything. He signed a pretty big deal with the Seahawks. $37 million guaranteed at signing. He showed something with the Vikes. I don't think he's a guy that's going to come back to haunt them. They didn't get Geno Smith. They traded for his receiver, DK Metcalf. So it's interesting to say what they spent on what they've done here, especially with Metcalf, and yet they didn't want one of those other quarterbacks. So let's hear from, this is Dan Orlovsky on, and this may be kind of the self-imprisonment that I'm talking about that Pittsburgh is more than willing to do because of their history, and that the appeal of Rodgers is more important to them than the unknown aspect of a rebuild with a young quarterback. This is Pittsburgh purgatory.
Worst place they could be in, Pittsburgh. How so? Okay, so he's good enough. They're good enough. They're going to go 9-8, 10-7. They won't matter in the playoffs, and we all know that. And then they're not bad enough to get a top 8 pick and finally find the quarterback of the future. And so anybody who says that Aaron can't play anymore, you're just being a hater because of some of the things you don't like about him as a person. But this still is a subpar offensive line. They only have really DK Metcalf on the perimeter. Freiermuth's a really nice tight end. They don't work the middle of the field with Arthur Smith right now. Maybe that'll change with Aaron, but Aaron didn't necessarily do it a ton last year. So you're in that area where we're going to be a contending team, but we are not better than Buffalo. We're not better than Kansas City. We're not better than Denver. We're not better than Chargers. We're not better than the Bengals. We're not better than the Ravens. So are we really going to matter? No. But we're not going to be bad enough. Like, at the end of the day, if the Steelers said we're going with Mason Rudolph this year because we have to figure out this position for the future and next year's college class is going to be good, I would have sat back and said, like, not traditionally how you go do it, but I understand the reasoning why.
Mm-hmm. He's right. This is who they are. I don't even know if they have to be right about Rodgers because he's not costing them what people thought that maybe he would cost them. So let's go with the only thing you could really get them on is if Rodgers has a bad year or gets injured because he's an older dude and he's been injured before, then the only thing you could say is, well, they probably should have drafted a quarterback, but they did. They have Will Howard. So either way, you're going to get to Will Howard. If Rodgers works out, then you're going to define them by how much did it work out. What is a success with Rodgers? To me, it's a playoff berth. Get in the tournament. Because if you get in the tournament and you have that experience, and presumably if you get in, that means he was playing well. I don't think you're going to get in if he's not playing well. Then I would define that as a success. Because if you're going into the playoffs with him, you may feel like you have a fighting chance in a one-game elimination.
I can't accept that. At this point, I can't accept just getting into the playoffs as being a success for the Steelers because they've gotten into the playoffs a lot, and still, T.J. Watt, here we are talking about what, his third contract that he wants in the National Football League. He still has 0 playoff wins in his career. And so I can't get down with this. Getting into the tournament, that's a success. Relative to low expectations, but this Groundhog Day routine of just doing the same thing over and over and over is exhausting and frustrating. And There is a part of me for sure that would like to see the Steelers bottom out because at least it would be different from the norm, and at least I could be convinced of some sort of long-term success and like this is what we need for the future. I totally agree with Dan Orlovsky there. He laid it out perfectly, is that in order for the Steelers to make it out of this, they got to do one or the other. They either have to be really successful with Aaron Rodgers, which I just said in the last segment I think is a one-year deal anyway. And I think there's a ceiling on what they can do, and just the most likely outcome is probably what's already been going on. And are you going to bottom out? No. So it's going to save me some short-term stress because, look, it would have been 4 months of watching Mason Rudolph, which would have been miserable. So the Steelers will be competitive, but I can't spin just a playoff appearance as a success.
Well, they may not be that competitive. We'll find out. I think they'll be better with him than they would be with Mason. I don't think but how much better? That's his point.
Well,
his point is if you can't win the Super Bowl, then why get Rodgers? And I come back to it's Pittsburgh. And I agree with you. Why not give Mason or at least Will Howard a shot at this thing? But I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I said that Rodgers gives them a higher floor. They're in the competition business. They're in it to win games. And there's other players on the team that aren't going to be that willing to waste seasons. I don't know. If you polled the players on the team, hey, would you rather have Aaron Rodgers or stick with what we have? I don't know if the vote would be split or not.
They'd all be in favor of Rodgers.
Well, I don't know. We heard a lot about the drama of him, and it's all about him, and maybe there's not the same belief in him. Now that they have him, they'll all say the right stuff.
Right.
That he earns their respect. That's for sure.
But if you're on the team, you can't be thinking like a fan. Like I'm thinking like a fan. I'm thinking about what is the path to a Super Bowl. Every single team in the NFL, even the terrible teams. Miles Garrett's a bad example because he's already established that he wanted to go somewhere else. But even if like a player on the Browns probably is envisioning some sort of path to the Super Bowl, now they may be delusional and only one team is going to be correct, but in the athlete's mindset, they all got to be thinking Super Bowl. And so they should all be thinking about what's best for the team right now. They don't have to be thinking about, well, what happens if we make the playoffs and then get knocked out in the first round? What does that mean? Then we're doing it all again next year.
No, they want the postseason bonus check.
That as well.
Like, honestly, if he makes them better, he makes them better. I think that's what the guys are thinking. I just don't know if they all are thinking that.
Oh, well, that's the part that I would disagree with. I would, and obviously we don't know, but I would surmise that they would assume that Aaron Rodgers is better.
The way Cam Hayward was talking about him was not from a place of respect. It was a place of, we don't need to wait for you. And he took it personally that he wasn't there yet. You could hear it in his voice. Now he's okay with it because he's a Steeler and he came for mandatory minicamp. So he showed up. That's why I said I was always drawing the line of mandatory minicamp. Because if he didn't show up to that, I would have felt like he is trying to circumvent the system as a veteran again and then jump on in training camp. We'll ask Schefter how real it was with Pittsburgh's pursuit of Stafford, and was Aaron really the third choice? That's in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Did you want information on the Ohio Lottery's Easy Play games? Okay. Easy Play games have everything needed to play printed on the ticket, so you never wait for a drawing. And with Easy Play Progressive games, they can instantly win the game's jackpot, which oftentimes grow and grow to over $1 million. All lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly. Want another commercial? Okay.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
NFL Playbook with ESPN's Adam Schefter.
Sponsored by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
All right, he's the man. He's the senior NFL insider for ESPN. He's our friend Adam Schefter, covering the NFL. Shefty, good afternoon, my man.
What's going on, guys?
All good. Let me ask you this about first of all, let me just get your reaction to the Rodgers signing. Looks like he at least kept his word on the price, that it wasn't about money. You told us that weeks ago. And so from a bargain basement standpoint, got a pretty big name. I don't know what kind of player they got, but give me your feeling on the signing.
Well, it's to me, Aaron Rodgers said $10 million, and the price came in a little over because that's what agents do. Agents go in and justify their value and worth, and so they negotiate it up. But it's $10 million guaranteed, which is what he said, and then there's incentives that could boost it up, to 19 or whatever it is. So, listen, it's a great deal for Pittsburgh, and Aaron Rodgers said it was not about the money, and I think that's evident in the deal that he structured.
I was very interested in what you said about their pursuit in their offseason for a quarterback, and I'm talking about the Steelers, and that how serious did they go after Stafford and then take me down the road of the Justin Fields situation? Did they not want to get anywhere near the money the Jets offered as far as guarantee, or was that maybe also something on Fields' side emotionally that maybe he had, burned out with Pittsburgh, didn't feel good about him?
Well, I think what happened is this. It was really as much chronological as it was anything else, right? They started in the offseason, and the initial calls were about acquiring Matthew Stafford. And they had conversations with the Rams about trading for him. The trade never got consummated. It didn't get done. And once it didn't get done, they continued during that time talking with Justin Fields, obviously stepped up efforts to get a deal done with Fields. They could not get a deal done either because they were only willing to go to a certain price, or because, to your point, he felt like, here's a team that benched me. Why do I want to go back to a team that benched me? Like, they benched him during the year. So I think he felt like it was in his best interest to move on, and that's exactly what he did. He wound up going to the New York Jets and signing there.
All right, so you believe, though, that Rodgers was the third choice, that if Stafford works out, they don't need Rodgers, but that they did prioritize Justin Fields over Rodgers.
I'm surprised this has gotten a lot of play from aggregators who have glommed onto me saying that Aaron Rodgers was the third choice. In the sequence it went, he wound up being the third option. They didn't jump out of the gate initially on Aaron Rodgers. They were all in on Stafford. It didn't get done. They shifted their focus to Fields. It didn't get done. They then went on to Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. I'm not saying that that's the third. That's the way it came down. You want to say it's the third option? Fine. I'm not going to disagree with that. But it's not like I'm reporting like, oh, boy, Aaron Rodgers was the third option. The Steelers were doing everything they could to make the best move they could at quarterback. That's the sequence of events, and that's the way it came down. So I don't know if they knew Rodgers was committed to them earlier. Maybe he would have been a higher or top consideration, but he wasn't. Stafford was free when he was. The talks occurred when they did. It didn't get done. Okay, we're not getting Stafford. Let's see if we can get Fields back. Oh, we can't get him. Okay, let's go on to Rodgers. Yes, in a way it was the third option, but in a way it's unfair to say that. It's just how the offseason evolved. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I'll explain to you why I found it interesting. And I'm not hanging everything on the fact the third choice thing, but the facts are what they are. I'm interested in that. My feeling was that they were in the we're going to wait for Aaron Rodgers decision mode, and it's kind of holding up things. But we're going to wait because we think he is our best option. We're going to wait it out as long as we have to. Art Rooney's going to say, we'll wait, not forever, but we'll wait. That's why I found it curious, because it made it sound like that they did prioritize him as a pretty big deal. And then when I heard you say that they tried to re-sign Fields and didn't, because if they would have re-signed Fields, they're not taking Rodgers. That's why I found it interesting, is that I thought that they were just like, nope, we're going to put our eggs in the Rodgers camp. We're going to give him the time he needs, and he'll tell us yes or no. And when he does, we'll either go forward with Mason Rudolph and Will Howard, or we'll have him. I thought the Fields thing to me was interesting. That's all.
Well, they wanted Justin Fields back at one point, right? And maybe if they had been more aggressive from the jump when the season ended, or at the end of the season, maybe the chances of him going back might have been better. I don't know. That's a Justin Fields question. But Justin Fields obviously felt the love and appreciation from the Jets, and where he would be getting the contract he did and a fresh start. And I think all those things, like anybody who's ever been up for a job anywhere before, you go through it and you feel wanted and appreciated in certain spots at certain times, or you don't. And I would guess that Justin Fields clearly felt wanted and appreciated in New York for a new head coach in Aaron Glenn that needed a quarterback, that expressed a desire to have him there in New York, and he opted for that option.
I understand. All I'm saying is it sounded like they offered the job to somebody else before they offered it to Rodgers. That's why I found it interesting. Because
they did.
Right.
They pursued Stafford. They worked to re-sign Justin Fields. And again, I know it seems like third choice, and it's not incorrect, but it's just how the process evolved.
Yeah, right. I think publicly, that's why I explained publicly, I felt like the Steelers were more in the Rodgers camp, and they were more than willing to let Fields go. That's what I thought until you reported what you did. So I'm actually giving you a compliment that it was interesting. It was an interesting nugget in the evolution of the Steelers' pursuit of a quarterback this offseason. That's it.
Yeah.
Give me your take on, if you know, about what is truly holding up this Shamar Stewart holdout with Cincinnati. It seems like the rookie wage scale is pretty self-explanatory, and that the Bengals want to maybe set a new precedent with some sort of possible language to recoup some guarantees in the future if they have to. It's very difficult to understand exactly what the Bengals are afraid of.
Yeah, I think it's a case where what we know is that they haven't asked other people to do this. Other players have been asked to do this, apparently. And it gets complex and confusing, and I hope it doesn't bore the average fan. But it involves forfeiture language and recouping bonus money. And basically, if Shamar Stewart were cut, the Bengals apparently are asking for a clause that they would be entitled to get back some of the guaranteed money, which nobody's done before. And Shamar Stewart is saying, no, I'm not going to do that. And I understand why he wouldn't. What I don't understand is why he's even at the facility. Like, he's not signed. He's not a team employee. He's never played a snap with a team. Sign, don't report to work. Like, that's a little odd to me. But that's what he's decided to do because he wants to be around his teammates. And again, and I would say this to him, if you want to make a statement, then stay away from the team and don't go in there. That's the loudest statement you could make. Instead, he's having a press conference at his locker criticizing the front office. I don't agree, and I don't think that's the right way to handle it, but it's his life. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, it's a hold in without being in.
He was never in. He's never
That's
taken
right.
a snap. I don't know.
That's right. No, I get it. And you know what's kind of counterintuitive is that, first of all, they drafted him, which means they like him. They think he's a good player, especially where they drafted him. And so this insurance policy they're trying to get if things don't work out is interesting. And then also, in a weird way, they were kind of using it as really kind of a minor tool to maybe send a message to Trey Hendrickson that we have a future guy that we feel can make an impact.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to send a message with a first-round pick. They used that first-round draft pick because they needed to use that first-round draft pick. I mean, that's a position of need for them. So that to me is the bigger thing of why they did it. They've lost players. They haven't had enough production at the spot. They needed help there. I don't think it was Hendrickson so much as it was a effort to address an area of need.
Yes, I agree with that. The other thing I want to do before I cut you loose, and Maddie's not here to defend it. You know I'm a big fan of Oz the Mentalist. You and I have talked about him before. He was on Get Up yesterday and did another amazing thing with hosts where he read their minds on players that they were thinking of. And not only that, it spelled out in order Get Up with the first letter of their last names of the players they picked. Can you say for the record, please, to my co-host who's healing a bad back, that to your knowledge, nobody is, quote, in on this?
I could say beyond a shadow of a doubt, so help me God, swear on my life that nobody is ever in on this. Okay? I'm just telling you. In fact, I'm coming home from the studio right now, and Greeny, I had breakfast. He's like, can you explain to me how he does this? And I said, I cannot. He goes, but haven't you been with him over and over, traveling? Yes, I have. You don't know. I don't know how he does it. Somehow he gets people to a certain spot. I truly have never seen anything like it. I could assure you, so help me God, may lightning strike me dead right now. Nobody is in on that. Nobody. It is. I know some people will be skeptical. I'm telling you. Well, like, why would I say what I'm saying?
Right. I'm with you. I also, have you ever tested him privately, like not in a public setting for televised purposes? Traveling with him, knowing him, have you ever just kind of casually tested him with anything?
How about this? Last summer, we were coming home from Pittsburgh together, where he had just performed for the Buffalo Bills, who were there to play the Steelers. So he's got a house way out on Long Island. So he was going in my direction. I took him home. He stopped in my house. My father-in-law was over. They've never met. So my father-in-law said, "You're a mentalist, huh?" "Yeah, I'm a mentalist." My father-in-law said, "Why don't you do something on me? Why don't you show me, that it's real?" So he said, "Okay, here's a piece of paper. Write down a name of one of your neighbors when you were growing up." He's never met my father-in-law. So my father always turns around, can't see anything, and he goes, "Did you just write down? Is there an L in the first name?" And my father-in-law goes, "Yeah," and he goes, "Huh? You live next to Lenny?" And he goes, "Yeah, Lenny Futterman." "Yeah." He goes, and he was in apartment 4C, wasn't he? And my father-in-law's jaw hit the ground. Was my father-in-law in it? I don't know. Maybe they had a conversation I don't know about before he showed up at my house that they wanted to do me. But I watched it and I've watched it over and over and over, and he never gets it wrong.
Yeah. Impressive. I'm entertained. It wasn't Lenny and Squiggy, was it? Vernon Shirley. Okay.
He got the name. He got the apartment number. My father-in-law was flabbergasted. Come on.
I know.
By the way, I remember we were at the Packers. There were a couple of guys that came out this is a setup. This is voodoo. We were in the room. Aaron Jones stood up after 3 tricks. And he goes, you're just playing us. Just like Matty Ice, you're playing us. And he goes, Aaron, I'm not playing. And Aaron Jones was angry, okay? He was pissed off. And so he goes, Aaron, I'm telling you the truth. He goes, okay, Aaron, here's a card. On the back of the card, I'd like you to write down your childhood nickname. And Aaron goes, okay. And always goes, does anybody in this room know your childhood nickname? He goes, nobody. So you've never told anybody your childhood nickname, Aaron? He goes, no. He goes, all right. Aaron writes, he goes, it's Booby. And Aaron Jones flipped over the card, and it was Booby. Now, how would he know that? I don't know.
Unless somehow he met some of his childhood friends and they've grown up and somehow he connected with them and did a deep dive in his childhood before he asked him. It's the only way. Yeah. All right, good proof.
Yeah, maybe Booby and Lenny Futterman were hanging out in apartment 4C together one day.
All right, you're on the record, my man. Thanks for the visit. Be well. We'll talk again next week.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Adam Schefter, senior NFL insider for ESPN. All right, he's the safest bet in sports in the last 15-plus years. We'll tell you about it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman. From sold-out stadiums under Friday night lights to more than 100,000 screaming fans on the banks of the Olentangy. America's football capital is right here in Ohio. But the greatest football players and coaches of all time live up the road in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And a trip there should be on every football fan's list. Go to 971thefan.com/goldjacket and enter to win a VIP experience to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ignite the passion. Relive the glory.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Summer is officially here, and that means rising temperatures. You're going to be thinking about how you can keep cool all summer long. What's the best plan here? Well, one of the ways you can beat the heat and keep the air conditioning you're paying for in your home is to get Window Nation's energy-efficient vinyl windows. And now's a great time to do it. They've got a semi-annual sale where you buy 4 windows, you get 4 windows for free. Plus a free entry door when you purchase a whole house full of windows. No money down, no interest, no monthly payments until 2027. It's a deal that can't be beat. You're getting a great deal from Window Nation because they are high-efficiency windows that are also very affordable. They do that by working directly with the top window manufacturers in the country, which means all their windows are assembled right here in the USA. But don't wait on that semi-annual sale. You buy 4 windows, you get 4 windows free. Free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows, plus pay nothing until 2027. You've got to schedule your estimate today. Call 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com. Once again, that number, 866-90NATION or windownation.com.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
Hey, it's Anthony for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Summer savings, Rich is backing it up. He has rates as low as 0% and leases starting from $249 a month. How about a 25 Honda HR-V LX CVT two-wheel drive? Lease it for only $259 a month. 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $30.39 down. And all trades deserve a sweetener. He's giving you an extra $1,000 for yours. See them for all the details. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
This promo is for anyone who likes baseball or America or Terry Francona's scooter. The Reds are on the Fan. Catch all 162 games here on the Fan and 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fan's HD2. Your home for Reds baseball, the Fan.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Get it? With the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing a schedule, and responding to Jim's long emails. Leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC at dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Cosby Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Want to jinx your favorite sports team?
Please get out of my Van Halen t-shirt before you jinx the band and they break up.
Just ask Maddie to print your shirts. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
First of all, he did the reverse jinx when I forced him into it last week to start coming down on his team versus always predicting greatness. And then when I finally told him they start running a respectable ball club, he won't have to hassle them no more. And then all of a sudden things have changed. And now they're going for the all-time sweep here of Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Maybe the bad back. Maybe what's his name? Castellini. Maybe he has some sort of voodoo doll down there that's a Matty. And he took a pin and threw it right in his lower back during the successful times that the team is having right now.
Yeah, you didn't believe in us.
Yeah. Well, it's like he didn't believe in O's. Maybe O's is doing it.
I think
maybe O's gave him a bad back.
Oh, by the way, speaking of, I ran a poll on the Twitter account yesterday.
Yeah.
The results are in. 65% do not believe in hypnosis.
65% don't.
Yes, of our followers who contributed.
Yeah.
I think Matty Ice said it would require a 15-game win streak for him to believe in this Reds team.
That's completely unrealistic.
Yeah, that's unfair. They're above 500. Like, that's something. I'm not saying that means that you're a World Series contender, but you broke through the 500 barrier.
I think that sometimes people, as we get back to the Schefter conversation, is that some people, when it comes to telepathy, they also don't want to feel like someone could be in control of knowing their thoughts. So they don't want to believe it. That's number one. I don't want to believe that anyone could know my thoughts. And so they get a little angry about it almost. Like, that can't be real. It can't be real. So of the 65% that don't believe hypnosis is real, I'm wondering how many have actually gone in and said, okay, somebody hypnotize me and see if it can be done. I haven't. I don't have any real desire to.
And there's fear in there too.
That's what I mean.
It's like, I'm surrendering control of my own brain to somebody else.
Right. Brain control.
Mm-hmm.
Better than mind control.
But the combative part, I do think there is like almost like they're disgusted by the ego. It's like, oh, you think you're so powerful that you can just search my brain?
I'm telling you, if he wasn't as normal and creative and had great personality and can control the narrative and orchestrate this stuff on a stage or on a set the way he does, I think he would almost come off more real. I think people want to believe that he is some sort of a weirdo, and the only way that this could be done is that he wouldn't be a normal person. And since he comes off so normal, it must be a trick. Maybe he has great telepathy. It seems far-fetched. I'm not going to argue that because it doesn't seem like, because it's not like we run into these people once every 5 years. Like, how could he be the only guy? Now, there are other people that have certain gifts. I've dealt with them, believe it or not, don't laugh, with animals. I've talked to some people. Believe me.
Wait, you mean you've encountered the animal whisperers?
Who don't know anything about pets that I've had, names, how they've been acquired, and somehow they know. So, believe me, I've had it. Anyway, let me get to this real quick. Scotty Scheffler is the official biggest favorite we've seen at the U.S. Open since Tiger Woods in 2009. It is about as big of a lock, overwhelming. And he's not a lock. He's that good. He doesn't implode. We get it. I think that's what's so interesting about him. Does he have a bad round in him? And how bad is it? And can he recover from it? Phil Mickelson was second place at the U.S. Open 6 times, I believe. And I'm going to say that if Scheffler never wins a U.S. Open, it's not going to be that it'll prevent him from getting into Jack and Tiger areas. He'll have to win the Grand Slam. He'll have to win all of them. He'll have to match Rory. And the more he doesn't, the more the pressure will mount, just like it did on Phil, just like it did on Rory. And right now, he is riding a wave, and this is the time to cash. That's what it looks like. It's a ridiculous run that he's, like I said, he's the biggest favorite in the U.S. Open in nearly 16 years in Tiger. Scheffler is 28, and he's got 16 wins and 3 majors. Jack Nicklaus had 30 wins before 30. So while he is the most dominant guy now, I'm rooting for the golf course. I want to see if he can win it on the toughest course right now in America. That will be fun to watch. Not that I'm rooting against him to win necessarily, but I want to see how the best in the world right now handles this. You'll hear more when we come back. And then top of the hour, we'll have a mystery co-host that I hear is coming in hot. That's next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Common man, radio veteran, has a large hemorrhoid. Timmy Hall, a good, clean boy, moonlights as man's hemorrhoid. Common man and Timmy.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Celebrate Father's Day and update your lawn with a little help from Ohio Mulch. Whether it's fresh mulch, rich soil, or expert lawn care products, a beautiful landscape, well, it begins with Ohio Mulch. Right now, get 5 bags of mulch or soil for just $10.95. Make your weekend project easier in the yard. Well, it'll be the envy of the block. Visit OhioMulch.com or stop by your local store. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there from your friends at Ohio Mulch.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply, cleaner, greener, better.
Trust. It's something we all value, but also something that's hard to earn, especially when it comes to your home. In a city like Columbus with so many contractors to choose from, how do you know who to trust with one of your biggest investments? At Newman Roofing, we believe trust starts with character and continues with consistent results. As a family-owned and operated company, we built our reputation on hiring good people, value-driven professionals who treat your home with the same care and respect they'd give their home. Our team is committed to delivering a true white glove experience. That means paying attention to the details, communicating clearly, and doing the job right the first time. We use only the highest quality products, installed with precision and backed by proven techniques. That's how we ensure you'll feel confident not just today, but for years to come. And we don't just ask you to take our word for it. With over 770 5-star reviews on Google, you can read story after story from homeowners just like you who trusted Newman Roofing and had their expectations exceeded. When it comes to roofing, gutters, or siding, call the local company built around family, values, and integrity. Newman Roofing. Call today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate
today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover's accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
For a lot of us, saving up a down payment can be the biggest barrier to buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus. Because everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. We're about 10 minutes away from baseball up at Progressive Field. The Cincinnati Reds go for the season sweep over the Cleveland Guardians. A battle of lefties on the mound this afternoon. Nick Lodolo gets the ball for Cincinnati. Logan Allen makes the start for Cleveland. Coverage over on ESPN Columbus already underway. After a 2-day hiatus, the NBA Finals resume tonight in Indiana. The Pacers hosting the Thunder at 8:30. The series is tied at 1 game apiece. An off day for the Stanley Cup Finals. They will resume tomorrow night down in Florida at 8. There is some NHL news, though. Colorado's Cale Makar has won the Norris Trophy as the league's best defenseman. CBJ's Zach Werenski finished second. This one's sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Mark Levy's office at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or online, sleepbettercolumbus.com.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice on 97.1 The Fan.
Second hour of the program. We're going to kick it old school. Robert J. is in the house. As my friend Bobby Carpenter and former co-host has arrived to have a little fun over the next 2 hours and perhaps just kind of decompress from his day, my man, from 6 to 8 in the morning or what?
Decompress, Coach. Yeah. Yeah, I do 6 to 8 with it off. I'm in here, almost got lost in the studio. It's so big. When you get over in those nice, tight quarters over there, you know, you get, number one, you get to share the body heat so you're not as cold. That's right. This place gets to be a real meat locker. But I went from that, and I got asked to do, I was doing full ride today, filling in for Rick Neuheisel, who you would love. I mean, this is...
We've had Rick on the show before. I actually very much enjoy it.
So his son is trying to qualify for some tournaments, tours and stuff. Like, he plays golf, and so Rick is his caddy. And so imagine your dad being like your caddy and a former head football coach. And so Rick will just be... He was telling me about it on Friday when I was filling in with him, and he didn't tell our, like, programming director, and then she calls me like yesterday. She's like, hey, can you fill on Wednesday, maybe Thursday or Friday as well, depending on how it goes? We have a Rick situation. And I'm like, oh, the golf tournament? She's like, yeah. I go, we actually talked about it. And he said his son, he goes, he goes, we're moving, so I would like to caddy for him. I go, but does he want you to caddy for him? He's like, he needs me to caddy for him. Like, it's real Colonel Jessup.
You want me on that bag. You need me on that bag.
Real Colonel Jessup situation. So I was kind of in on it before, so I knew that, and like how his son plays today will be depending on whether I'm there tomorrow. So I did that from 9 to noon, hopped on and did my YouTube show that I do with Schlegs till about 12:50, and what I call my the bottom tip of my triangle, if you will. I live on kind of the corner of Lane and 33, so I zipped that down here to do this. After my show, I had about an hour, so I zipped up the side part of the triangle to the eastern wing of the Woody Hayes and got my little cardio in, did some walking and everything else, and then I did that show. But now I'm back here down at the bottom again, so I just keep working the Bermuda Triangle, if you will. I really don't get outside
You're in the
of it
maze with the cheese.
I'm just excited to be back on here with you.
Thanks, buddy. I'm happy you're here. You know, when I had Rick on, so he was the MVP in the 84 Rose Bowl, quarterback for UCLA, for people who don't know who Rick Neuheisel is. And when I had him on the air, I think I said it this way. I go, reportedly, you once broke 80 at Pebble Beach. And I said, you know, when I played, I birdied number 7. What do you think of that, Ricky? And he loved it. And I just thought, is he just kind of one of those most underrated, like, athlete guys? Like, I don't think anyone really remembered how good he was. And I asked him, I think, with everything that he's seen and experienced in college football as a player and a coach, I thought, where did that Connor Stallions thing rank?
Oh, really?
Have you ever really talked to him about that?
Yeah, we talked a while ago about it when it was all like fresh and new. And I think he was saying like it was pretty significant. Like as a coach, it's fairly significant where someone like knows what you're going to do, whether run or pass, like that impacts it pretty significantly, I think. If I'm remembering that right. As a player that has a lot of passion for former player has a lot of passion for Ohio State. What is the just penalty, if there is one? Because I feel like this whole self-imposed couple games, but he can still coach at Oklahoma, his alma mater, like they are just dreaming if they think that's... I think they get a postseason suspension.
Okay, so I said this the other day. A postseason ban in this era, Bob, is so similar to death penalty because the kids can say, I'm out of here. And you can decimate a roster or a recruiting cycle by saying, if you come here this year, we can't play in an expanded playoff if we make it.
So here's the deal with that is what was always the argument about the penalties moving forward? Well, we don't want to punish the people who weren't involved. Well, now I'm going to Christian Bale on you, buddy. There are no penalties for us. We'll go to some other school. So those players, they have the option or ability to leave. So they're not in that same situation that they were before. So I think the two most viable ways to penalize someone, and believe me, this is something that people in Columbus think about. Nationally, I think it's kind of died a little bit. But coaches are still all looking at this because, like, if you don't swing heavy on this, you're opening up Pandora's box for people getting real creative. Because if, like, all you're going to do is smack us on the wrist if we get caught. Like, this isn't the era of, we gave the kid a hamburger at a cookout, or even we gave the kid $10,000 to come here, or whatever it is. You're talking about competitive balance within the game. And so there's a lot of coaches that are carefully monitoring this to see what happens because, like, if they don't punish them, then what are you going to punish anybody for anymore?
Well, yeah, and the other thing about competitive balance, and we can talk about it, we've got time, is that I wonder if that's also diluted now with the pay-to-play, and the schools can now pay. It's all above board. It's all not hiding in plain sight anymore. Like, you're basically, where is the competitive balance anyway if you can just find the money to get the player?
So that's the other piece is, like, maybe they have a restriction on how much they're able to spend. Like, that's what they kind of do in the NFL. I mean, they fine them.
I said that last week.
Yeah, you have your $20.5 million. Well, now you only have 10.
That's right.
And by the way, the other 10 you're going to give to us, and we'll put that in our pocket. Right. I don't know, a little something for the big guy here.
The other thing about Michigan, though, I feel, and I know this is not going to go over well because vacating wins is so nothing because nobody really cares. If I was there, I saw the games, they won. You two want to take them away, take them away. But you would be taking them away from the all-time leader. There is that. And who is second on the list?
Ohio State.
The Ohio State. So for the people that say vacating wins is nothing, I would argue that it isn't nothing, especially when you're dealing with the leader. If this was Nebraska or Georgia or Harvard or somebody that's top 20, okay. But number one, it might matter to them.
That matters, I think, because you said that one of the teams that was mostly impacted by this is the number 2 team, who's their rival. And then also, and this is probably something that you maybe hadn't even thought about, is when you start talking about the vacation of wins and vacating of wins, what wins? And there's a pretty significant game at the end of the season that when Jim Tressel took over the rivalry, we were really upside down. Since World War II, since Woody took over in 51, Ohio State has handled its business pretty well. But Michigan won so many early on. And Jim Tressel said this, our lieutenant governor, said his dream was to be alive to see the day that Ohio State flipped that. And the last couple losses.
You mean the actual rivalry, not the total wins all time?
No, the actual rivalry between
rivalry wins.
Rivalry wins.
Which
I think Ohio State's -7 right now, I think.
Is it only 7?
I think it was down to 4 or 5. Maybe it's back up to 8.
88, 98. I carry the 1. I actually think it was.
It's amazing.
I think it's over that, Bob. I think it's like 20 or 30, isn't it?
No,
Okay, it's that much closer now?
Rothman, you got to think, when you go 17.
Well, the winning percentage.
When you go 17-3 over a 20-year period.
Pick up some ground.
You pick up a little bit of ground. And I'll have to pull this up, the Michigan rivalry, to see exactly what it is.
All right, we'll let you settle in because I know you were coming in hot here. We got plenty to do with my man Bobby Carpenter. We'll navigate it. And then the other thing I do want to talk about is, could anything make a Buckeye fan say no thanks? And it's about the money now that's being involved, and would they pass that on to the fans somehow? And I do have a little information on that, the super suites and all that going in the end zone. Because you and I told you there was a little difference between
the super freaks.
I think if you're in that cube, I think you're in it to stay.
Yeah.
I don't think you can just crack the sunroof and go up there. Talk about that next. Rothman and Mr. Carpenter in for the Iceman on the Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and Common Man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman. From sold-out stadiums under Friday night lights to more than 100,000 screaming fans on the banks of the Olentangy, America's football capital is right here in Ohio. But the greatest football players and coaches of all time live up the road in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And a trip there should be on every football fan's list. Go to 971thefan.com/goldjacket and enter to win a VIP experience to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ignite the passion. Relive the glory.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
The Roofing Guys are your locally owned, trusted family business right here in Central Ohio. They've been hammering quality and service through the roof for over 25 years, offering professional services in roofing, siding, gutters, and more. Contact them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Get blockbuster savings at Coughlin Ford. 5-time winner of the Ford President's Award. Get employee pricing on new F-150s, 10 grand off MSRP on new 25s, or 13 grand off new 24 models. Shop the fastest growing Ford dealership in Central Ohio. From America, for America. Visit CoughlinFord.com.
Based on YTD sales and ground stock. All factory rebates to dealer. All prior sales excluded. In-stock units only. Must finance through Ford Motor Credit. Not all will qualify. No security deposit required. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. N7725.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here, and I remember the first time I understood that old saying about giving a man a fish. It made so much sense, and I see examples of it all the time. Take the new weight loss meds, for instance. Think about this. You take a shot, you eat less, and you lose weight. But the second you stop, the weight comes back. You never actually changed anything besides eating less of the same bad things. I wasn't interested in renting my results. I wanted to own them. That's why I chose Awaken 180. I needed a lifestyle change, I knew it, and I was excited about it. a medication-free path to long-term weight loss. That's exactly what I got. It's been a year and a half since I dropped my 50 pounds, and I've kept it all off. Awaken 180 taught me how to adjust my approach to food, a real-time education on how to keep it off while losing the weight. I say, learn how to fish. It's easy, it's fast, and for the long-term bonus, no medications. Do what I did and choose the solution for weight loss. Awaken180weightloss.com, 844-346-1800.
Get your air conditioner fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling, 1-800-COOLING.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
Hey there, I'm Brad. I'm about to win the Tuesday Night Bowling League Championship. I'm also a highway worker for the Ohio Department of Transportation. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can bowl the winning strike with my buddies.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Brought to you by ODOT, USDOT, NHTSA, and ODPS.
Do you have foot pain? Foot pain is not normal regardless of your age or job. Podiatric physicians are the most qualified doctors to care for your feet and can provide important foot care solutions or shoe inserts to better manage foot pain. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality foot and ankle care. We've been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Make sure you have plenty of water as well as sunscreen in your bag as you head out the door today. We will have sunshine all day with afternoon highs in the mid to low 80s. Down into the 60s tonight with mostly clear skies, and then another day of sunshine and heat as we get temperatures up right around 90 degrees. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony used to ski in his jeans? Are you serious? No, he's not from New Jersey. Back to Rothman and Ice.
Indeed, I did. All right, Rothman and Carpenter here today for the Iceman. And did you get the stat? How close is the rivalry right now?
I did get the stat. And it was to 9. It was, hold on, I'm looking at it again. It's at 11 now. It was down to whatever that would be. It was down to 7.
All right.
So
guess what?
Yeah, so you hack 2 of those off, all of a sudden, like, you're kind of back. You don't get the wins, but the losses don't count. So then all of a sudden, you're kind of back in that striking distance where Tress can maybe die a happy man.
Yeah.
And a fulfilled human, fully formed.
So Ohio State does have a higher all-time winning percentage, I believe.
Yeah.
But you're saying that, okay, so they have more wins. Ohio State has less losses.
It's 62 to 51 and 6 right now.
Okay.
It's like you say, you knock a couple of those off. All of a sudden, Ryan goes on a run. Then you're staring at the 20-30. Maybe it's 2 or 3.
It can matter. I know it sounds stupid to say because nobody cares about vacated wins because who's keeping track? Well,
when you put it on the board,
when you're historically the best, you like to be able to shout that out a little bit. And so this is kind of where we are. The other part about it is, and I remember, I don't know who you were doing the show with, but it was the year that Urban got suspended. And we're all debating how much ownership he was supposed to have with the Zach Smith situation and all that. Remember, who were you? I was off that day.
Oh, I thought you meant I was
No, I was off.
I was working with you.
Yes, I was.
You were there.
I was off that day. I was playing in the I think the Nationwide Pro-Am over at Scarlet. And I called into the show. And I remember you asking me, all right, what do you think's going to happen? And I think, and I'm not justifying it. I was just telling you what I thought was going to happen with some of just my own thoughts. I had no inside information. And I looked at the schedule and I just said, boy, that TCU game, it's a neutral. It's got a little bite to it.
Yeah.
I don't think Rutgers and Oregon State or whoever was going to matter. And I said, I think he's going to get 3. And I remember Bids tweeted it out. Hey, Anthony Rothman says that Urban's going to get 3
like when you
it was a guess.
It was like when you sent that Terry Glenn clip up.
Okay, I did not send any Terry Glenn clip. Michigan is no one. Michigan is nobody. And so I'm getting backlash because if I'm reporting it, that must mean I'm somehow backing it or endorsing it. And I wasn't even reporting it. I was just saying it. And Bids and I have had a good laugh over this because he said, you know, when you said it, I just assumed with all your experience that you had some inkling, insight into what was going to happen. Now, here's the good news. Bad news for Urban. Good news for Ryan Day. It actually turned out to be true. But I'm here to tell you, as God is my witness, it was an educated guess. So when Michigan came out with this, he's going to sit. What games is he sitting?
Like 3 and 4. So
like weird. They're going to hopscotch the schedule. Yeah. It made me think and I don't even know if Oklahoma's any good, but it's important to him. So that's probably why they offered that up, that they wouldn't suspend him for that game. But he's got to get some bite here.
Yeah.
Like there has to be something that goes with this. There's just too much. It's not even circumstantial evidence anymore. And I know that sign stealing was technically legal, not the way he was doing it and orchestrating it.
They were on Rothman. Yeah. I've got a pair of the Meta glasses now. I call them my Stallions. I got them. You would love this. I played in Joe Burrow's golf outing. That was the gift. Pretty nice.
But he was sick though, right?
Yeah, he came over the night before, but he popped. And, he wasn't feeling well on that day.
That's what I heard.
But you got sources everywhere, Rothman. But it was. I had these on. I'm like, man, I've done video with them and stuff. I'm like, this is really good. I'll show you some of the pictures I've taken with them. Rothman, you could put those on. They even have the transition lenses so you can wear them inside.
Well, Tress loved the transition
lenses.
Wear
them in the bed. You could wear them in any room in your house. If you want a first-person viewer cam, think of the things you could do that you could then rewatch later in your mind. I always have said I wish I could rewind the videotape of my brain and watch it later. This gives you the ability to do that.
The POV.
The POV.
The point of view.
But he has on a Central Michigan shirt and is standing on the sidelines recording their signals. And here's the thing.
But it is video, not just still shots.
You could do video on there.
And there's that little blue light there. I put them on at Radio Row this year in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Because next year the Super Bowl's in Santa Clara. And so they had a big set there for Santa Clara, the Field of Jeans. And they said, hey, I was strolling by. Come on over. Come on in, little Abner. Just try these on. And they're like, all right, ask it a question, and it'll tell you about where. And I said, where are all the great golf courses around here? And it starts listing them, and the video pops up.
Get some good weed.
Exactly.
You and Rob Lowe. You and Rob Lowe.
Rob's a friend now. All right, so by the way, McElwain was it, or who was that?
It's McElwain.
Yeah.
And so
did we ever get his response to, how did this guy get on my sideline?
No, and that is the most indicting part of it all, incriminating, because they never have even produced an ounce of evidence of it could be somebody else. Rothman, if you ever do something that you don't want to be caught doing, you know what you present? An alternate theory of what it is. Maybe this isn't someone else. They've never presented any of that. No. They're like, we're looking into it. And then you know what happened? A hush fell over the crowd.
That's right.
And there was never any follow-up.
And he had a relationship with him.
Yeah.
I believe there's a backstory there.
Yeah, they had coached somewhere together before and everything. And by the way, I did go to Ohio State. They do the sideline passes and everything like this. Anybody who works in the media, they've got a strict list of who's on there and who's getting these passes. It's not like you just walk by, hey, you know what, Bob? Here, they just toss a pass to you, you're walking by. They get a list together. They know who's on the sideline.
Backstage pass.
It's what it is. But they don't. This isn't like going to a rock concert. We're like, oh, yeah, I'm on old boy's friend.
Yeah.
No, it is tight security down there. So there's no way that they didn't know who that was. They should be able to roll through the itinerary and the people and the manifest, if you will, and find out who was there.
Yeah. No, it's amazing.
The best part is some of the fans, people try to present alternate theories. Like, no, this is this guy. And then someone presented another clip. They're like, no, this is this guy also seen in this picture. He is not him. So they tried to, it was like people on social media tried to present a couple other alternatives of who it could be. And all of those people were pictured otherwhere on the sideline.
And when it went bad, they cut him loose.
Oh, yeah.
And and by the way, I could almost understand if he was getting this intel and then handing it to the coaches and saying, this is what I have. I put it into my computer. This is what it spits out. Here's the sheet. This is the key.
This is the key.
But why did he have to be there deciphering it live as well? If he was so of little importance in his job, why would Jimmy need him right there? He wasn't handling the cable. He was his decoder ring.
They said no one knew him. Like, they have clips of, like, the coordinators talking to him during the game. So you're telling me you're communicating with some sideline rando, you don't know who it is?
Yeah. And here's the other thing, and I remember I said this when this happened. Like, anybody can justify anything. We're outworking them. Everybody's cheating. We're just doing it better. That's what they were doing. And they could, the justification of it for them is that everybody tries to decipher signs. Everyone does it. Maybe we've done it better. No, you did it illegally, and you did it to an extent that it was definitely beyond any type of competition or integrity. And so they had to cut him loose. And then Jimmy gets the escape hatch. And, man, I remember talking to you. It's weird how things have gone. And he had that great quote about when people kept peppering him about it. You can never beat Ohio State. And he's like, we're going to beat them or we're going to die trying. Like, he finally admitted that it may not happen, but we're going to keep doing it. It was the only answer he had. And I remember saying to you when we were doing the show, I'm like, he can never leave. He can never leave. He has to beat him. And the one thing I never thought about was, what if they got rid of him? Because I never really thought it would happen. And then they went to these lengths to make sure that he got the elusive wins that he needed. And then he wasn't even coaching in the game. And so it's if Jim Harbaugh was suspended for coaching the Ohio State-Michigan game, then you have to believe that Sherrone Moore is going to get a pretty big bite taken out of him. Whatever, and who knows whether this season will even matter. But they've got a pretty talented quarterback, and they think
if you do the bowl ban, the postseason ban, there's some guys, like I said, that'll Christian bail on out of there
unless they're getting paid to stay.
Do you want to play, though, in a season that doesn't matter, that you have no opportunity to?
But if I leave, I got to make sure I recoup that money. The guys that aren't getting paid or don't have big NIL deals, they can probably say, okay, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. But the big name, the big Bob, the big paid dudes, where are they going to quickly recoup that money right away? Unless they could bump off a starter somewhere else.
Believe me, that's part of the question. I don't have the answer to.
Yeah. All right, we'll come back in 2 minutes. And is he living up to his name? Sounds like he's digging himself another hole. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The Home Depot has fast, free delivery on the perfect gift to help Dad do more this Father's Day. Because Dad is more than just a dad. He's groundskeeper of the yard, the perfecter of the patio, and the cleaner of the clippings. Power Dad's doing with Ryobi cordless outdoor power tools from the Home Depot. Like the Ryobi 40-volt string trimmer kit for $159. For everything Dad is, find the perfect gift at the Home Depot. Subject to availability, see homedepot.com/delivery for more details.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks, trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts. Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony finally hit a hole-in-one.
It's in the hole.
So now what? Just bask in the glory?
And that's how she wrote.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
I can't believe you retweeted Biddle's tweet from 2018.
That's the best part.
The fact that you found it, and it wasn't, like you said, it wasn't, Dave and I, like I've said, have had some great laughs about it. And it was the ultimate compliment because he wouldn't have really tweeted, my prediction wouldn't have mattered, but he admitted to me that he felt like that there was some insight behind it, that it wasn't just throwing it out there. And then I admitted to him way later, no, there really wasn't.
Well, the tweet reads, Anthony Rothman on 971 Carpenter Rothman predicts Meyer will keep his job, but with a 3-game suspension. He just said that you predicted it.
That's right. It was.
But yeah, I can see how to the listener that would come off as Rothman has inside information.
Of course, it wasn't just his buddy that predicted it,
Cole,
right?
You're looking at a guy that's been a staple in the Columbus media market for 21 years.
Oh, he's got
21.
Since 94, 31, even better. Even
21.
better.
I felt great when you said that. Like
31.
Got a lot of years left.
Yeah, and 31 years. So that people view him as kind of the voice from inside. You know, they took him by surprise when they let him inside.
That's right.
Oh, you should have seen how much access he had at the memorial compared to
Coach,
everybody
I've already
else.
seen. The only guy that has more access than him is Beam because he worked out there. So they're like, oh, come on in, Beam. Let's go over here, bringing you food, showering you with gifts. You know, you feel like a sultan walking around there. It's amazing.
But you can kind of follow the timeline because he tweeted that at 12:35. So that would have been made sense. He would have called into the show.
That's right.
Between the hours of 12:30.
I don't remember who he was hosting with.
And then he follows. Oh, so he was listening?
He was listening.
Yes.
Biddle wasn't hosting.
That's even funnier.
No, Carp was hosting. I don't know. Maybe Maddie was there.
So you just read your phone and you go, what the hell is this?
Yeah, it started blowing up in a bad way.
So then,
because people didn't think Meyer deserved to even be suspended. And like I said, I wasn't endorsing it.
Rothman put that into the ether. And you know what? All of a sudden, President Drake goes, this looks like a good idea.
That's right.
This guy, Anthony Rothman, he knows his stuff.
He's on it.
So that was at 12:35. And then you could tell how quickly it took Rothman to get a hold of Biddle because at 12:43, he quote tweets himself and says, I should clarify.
I should quote.
He says, I should clarify. At Anthony Rothman said this was his, quote, gut feeling, not necessarily a prediction.
That's right. I texted him. Yeah, that's it.
Honestly, that quote tweet makes it sound like more of a report than a prediction. That just made it worse.
Double down on it.
Well, and also the other thing it did was
this was your idea.
Kind of launched Ryan Day in there, right? Get right in the frying pan.
I mean, some people say that Rothman's responsible for the start of Ryan Day's career.
That's
I've heard him actually thank you publicly for that.
Because absolutely, we're just so excited.
Your recommendation to President Drake got
to get Urban suspended the 3 games, got Ryan the big game at a 15th ranked neutral team.
Because
it's neutral site.
Didn't a lot of people assume at the time that they would have gone with Greg Schiano instead?
Schiano or Kevin Wilson both had been head coaches in the last 5 years. You know, like Greg came from Rutgers, Kevin came from Indiana. Both of them had success, or not came from Rutgers. He came from he was out of Tampa, I think, or New England or wherever he was with Greg at that point. But both of those guys had been successful head coaches. So you're thinking it's going to be one of these guys. I think a lot of people thought, okay, it could be Kevin Wilson because then you have Ryan who kind of calls the plays and it won't disrupt anything. And then out of nowhere, I'll give Urban a lot of credit for this. Like he selected Ryan Day and it's turned out to be a pretty good choice.
Oh, and then Rothman jumped in the comments.
What did I say now?
The comments are always better.
What did I say now?
Yeah. So we had Dave's original tweet where he was apparently not even co-hosting. He was just listening. Then we have Rothman. It took 8 minutes for Rothman to get a hold of Biddle. Biddle quote tweets himself. And then Rothman responds to the quote tweet and says, also, I also said that I didn't say that it would be right, especially since none of us knew what the investigation findings revealed. So I guess you might have chimed in. I could check the timeline on that.
It felt like at the time that I was endorsing the mismanagement of the alleged abuse scandal of Meyer. But he kind of walked himself into a problem at Big Ten meetings.
Oh, yeah.
About the timeline of knowing things. And that's where the red flag was. It wasn't that anybody specifically was pinning it on him or whatever the allegations at that time. And I thought you and I walked that tightrope pretty well to Zach Smith's credit and whatever was going on in the personal life. But boy, that was a wild time. It really was. All right, let's get to, all right, you know the Stephon Diggs story, right?
The little bag of magic?
A little bag of pink pills.
Yeah. I mean, they think you got him, Rothman, at your favorite place, the Pink Pony Club.
That's right. The Pink Palace. What was the place at the Continent? The Elephant Bar.
The Elephant, there you go.
Maybe I got him there.
That's right.
Up at the Continent, back in the old stomping grounds. All right, so Diggs was on this boat.
Was it an awesome time?
It was, do you remember did I say it was like, who? No, it was a celebrity's boat, was it not?
Cardi B?
Yeah, it may have been.
Well, that's his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was her boat. It's got to be your boat.
Yeah.
And so he's, first of all, the big penalty against him is being so unaware. Like that someone had a cell phone out and it's
I don't think he was unaware. I think he didn't care. There's no possible way.
Well, maybe so why didn't today? And you'll hear
Here's the thing. Yeah. Maybe he thought everybody on the boat was on his team. And he didn't realize that there was a double agent in the mist. Like, hey, we're coming on here. We're going to have some illicit fun on the boat.
Yeah, he's with a bunch of women, and he's opening up this thing with pink crystals.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, who knows what?
Listen, man, doesn't matter whether you got a wicked jump shot or slinging crack rock. The honor's in the dollar.
The honor's in the dollar.
So
the fact that he's committed my boiler room quote to memory is so great, and it makes me feel so good.
I utilize that all the time, Rothman. Right, I try to credit you through Biggie Smalls, the notorious.
That's right. Absolutely right.
Kind of like Michael Scott, you miss every shot you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. But the fact, Rothman, if I was getting together, let's put this in perspective.
All right.
You, me, and Cole, and I'm no offense, Cole, I know you the least out of everyone here. It's
okay.
Just due to timeline, and getting us, Maddie. Getting the gang together, maybe
plans, schemes.
Yeah, I mean, my wife makes the inevitability of leaving me, and so then I'm free to go do whatever I want. I'm now bachelor time. So
right now, you're a restricted free agent, as I call it. She has the right to match, or get compensation if you go.
That is true. Maybe even a little more like indentured servitude, but either way.
Yeah.
So if I was free to go do whatever, and we invited some gals on the boat, and we were about to do some things that would be a little bit illicit, I would think that the people that I'm inviting on there, I would either, A, if I didn't trust them enough, I'd get their cell phone, or B, if they had their cell phone out, I would trust them enough to not post that for public consumption.
Right.
And so I think he had the awareness. The guy plays receiver in the NFL. He's able to run full speed and look at a whole field, and they change their route based upon the coverages that are happening. I'm pretty sure his periph caught the camera that was sitting right there over his head.
What if it was the meta glasses?
Well,
I'm telling you, no one is looking at that phone.
That's my point, is because I think
maybe it wasn't a phone. I don't know.
Or they just acknowledged it was there, but who the heck would be that we invited into our midst that would then be Benedict Arnold?
The substance abuse policy in and of itself has been weakened, I think, over the years.
Because weed that's legal everywhere now. We're trying to level up a little bit with maybe something. I don't know exactly what that is, but
what they were speculating is a lot of stuff.
A lot of fun.
A lot of. But it was so. I mean, he could have just today said anything. The problem is, whatever he says might have been laughable. He's not carrying around.
What do you say? I like to snort coke in the off season on boats. Have you ever seen?
You guys seasick? It's Pepto.
Yeah, I carry my Pepto in a little pink.
That's what I'm saying. In a silver tin.
The pink pouches for Pepto. Yeah. They throw that out there.
But I'll let you hear this. He was asked about. He had got in front of a camera and media. So be prepared, but him being prepared was more of just shutting everything down, that no one is entitled to have an answer, even though they're entitled to ask the question. Yeah. Oh, here it is.
I want to be as candid with you guys as possible. I kind of have a thing where talk about my personal life with people I don't know personally. I'm pretty sure everybody here, men and women, are great people, but you know what I'm saying? I kind of keep my personal life personal. I had a conversation with Graves, obviously. I'm going to echo everything that he said. He told me, hoping everybody making good decisions, you know what I'm saying? And I had a conversation with people in the building as well, so, everything else is everything else. The particulars is all internal.
Seeing that, it's kind of coming on us fast. What was in the bag?
Obviously, it's a conversation, that's happening internal. You know what I'm saying? I can't have too much of a conversation about it, but I've been in this league 10 years. You can format the question many different ways. I'm gonna obviously answer it the same way.
Step by step one, did you know it was being recorded?
Once again, you can format the question many different ways. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this for 10 years. The conversation that I had with Graves and the people in the building, obviously, is going to be handled internal, you know what I'm saying, an in-house thing. So.
You regret it happened?
So you asked me again. I would hate to repeat myself again.
Obviously, we saw you afterwards here. So what even though you've been in the league for 10 years, we all learn things every single day. What did you learn from it? How do you move forward with it as a New England Patriot?
Obviously, I don't want to be rude, but I would hate to repeat myself for the 4th time. But you want me to repeat myself again? Say the same thing again? I mean, I'm trying to be as polite as possible.
I kind of give him respect for keeping his calm and sticking to the script.
Yeah, he never got angry, really.
No.
He was making them sound a little more foolish to keep asking and hitting their head against
they asked good questions because they worked their way around
That's right.
What was this? Did you know you were being recorded?
Yeah.
What did you learn from it?
Yeah, you say you've learned something, but that walks him back into a potential problem.
Because that makes it sound like you were doing something wrong.
That's right. But you said that
you said
what
that there was
will
nothing to worry about.
To confiscate phones?
So why would he be in any danger?
Yeah.
He gave him
grave danger. You said, is there any other kind?
So that I think what he was trying to do there, Rothman, is like, hey, we're walking this. I'm not walking this back. What did you learn? Well, like Coach Rapes, we always need to make good decisions. Were you making a bad decision? I didn't say that. We just always talked about making good decisions. And so they're going to, as someone that's as skilled as you, as asking those questions, you're going to keep twisting and turning and prodding, if you will, to find the answer. But that was a very Belichickian way of answering that. We talked.
It's been handled in-house.
Handled in-house, and that's what it is.
But then the logical question is, what, if anything, needed to be handled? If it was innocent and you're being wrongfully accused of handling illicit drugs or substances that are banned by the NFL, then there would be no reason to have a talk. You would explain it away pretty easily. Bubble gum that I got somewhere else, like
Rabes asked if I had any more.
That's right. And not
still
pink cocaine,
She's
right?
Still in the house.
Oh, my goodness, he did a great job. I agree. The questions were fine. He did a good job of making sure he didn't do anything, but to start the thing out with, I want to be as candid as possible.
That's what he said.
You're being candid that you're being very truthful that you're not going to answer anything. That was interesting. All right, we'll come back. Back to Urban for a second. He did comment on a specific program that he holds in pretty high esteem. And it was one that maybe we all thought he would consider coming back for. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Men, is good enough really what you want with your sex life? This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if erectile dysfunction is making for a bad bedroom experience for you and your partner, you should call us, because you want your intimacy to be fantastic both for you and the one you love. At Tri-State Men's Health, our treatments have success rates of well over 90%, and because we're a medical practice focused on men's sexual health, we can offer many treatment options and even combine treatments to find the right one for you, which means if you're like most of our patients, we can likely get you performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and make a change from good enough to really good. And for a limited time, we're offering new patients a free first visit to help you get the care you deserve. This includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose to demonstrate to you the amazing effectiveness of our treatments. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you. Tri-State Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Hey, it's Anthony for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Summer savings, Rich is backing it up. He has rates as low as 0% and leases starting from $249 a month. How about a 25 Honda HR-V LX CVT two-wheel drive? Lease it for only $259 a month. 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $30.39 down. And all trades deserve a sweetener. He's giving you an extra $1,000 for yours. See them for all the details. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. There are a lot of window companies out there, so why choose Universal Windows Direct? Let me tell you. First of all, I told you so. Also, you can get payments as low as $99 a month or no payments and no interest for an entire year. That gives you a full year to enjoy the comfort, savings, and curb appeal before you ever make a payment. Schedule your free assessment today, 614-502-5220, or go to universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
After an audit of our programming, the suits here at The Fan decided we needed more baseball. And that common man is stupid. Good news. We fixed one of those problems. Catch the Reds on The Fan all season long. Yay, baseball.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, HIMS can help. Through HIMS.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
Back about 4 years ago, when Urban was in Jacksonville for that short period of time, he was on the list of guys that would come back to college and go to maybe USC. And he said that scratch him off the list. He's not leaving Jacksonville for USC, and he obviously never did. But he also said something I thought was important at the time, that he didn't miss recruiting, even though he was looked at as being such a good recruiter and almost like he could sell bubble gum to a lockjaw ward at Bellevue. Like, he was that good. And so he talked about USC, though, and when I hear this is on his pod.
No, this is on the Herd.
Oh, this is on the Herd. To hear him talk about USC, though, it makes me think, like, wow, I wonder how much he really considered it. Now, it would be moving to the West Coast, and whether he wanted to do that, and whether Shelley wanted to, or whatever. There was a lot of, we were all discussing, would he really want to go there? I mean, ironically, now that they're in the Big Ten, that would be hysterical if that would have happened, not even dreaming at the time that they would be, at least in my mind. Did you ever think back 4 or 5 years ago that USC would be in the Big Ten?
No.
Yeah. That would be awesome if he was coaching there right now.
Gosh, it would have been very interesting.
Yeah. All right, here he is on the Herd talking about where he has the USC job just in his mind overall.
The way I've always looked at USC is I equate them to Ohio State, Alabama, Texas, and, Florida. I've always looked at USC as one of the top 5 jobs in America. So I've got a lot of respect for Lincoln Riley, and I promised myself I would never call for jobs because I'm not going to do that. However, when 7-8 wins is acceptable at USC, that's when I don't know. I don't agree with that. I think you take a 5-hour net and drop it on USC, and you see the best players in the country. So I think this is the year they're recruiting. Here's a question about USC. They have the number 1 recruiting class in the country right now. Should they have that every year? I mean, USC is USC. And I think they're going to have a great year, and I think we're not after this conversation. But 8-5, go 8-5 at Ohio State and see what happens.
The 8-5 at Ohio State is real. I mean, Ryan Day went 10-2, and they still wanted him to be fired.
Well, yes, and that was mostly Michigan related. It wasn't that. It was
all Michigan related.
It's all right, and he did a remarkable job with this team. And we can go over that in a minute. We'll stick with Urban here. Did you believe back in when we were doing the show together pre-COVID? I had heard that maybe he was waiting on an NFL job.
Yeah.
And that it was your former team he was hoping for.
Cowboys?
Yes.
I think that was before they hired Mike McCarthy, I think is when it was.
And that's the one that he would send USC to the side for if he could get the Cowboy job.
I think there was even talk about him going to Texas, and they had talked about that.
Well, they kept Clay Helton, I think, and maybe at USC, and maybe that's why. I'm trying to think back.
They did retain him, but then they ultimately moved on from him.
Yeah.
But he said with the Texas, because people were trying to link him there, he said he never wanted to coach against Ryan and recruit against Ryan.
But if Helton was fired, do you think he would have taken the USC job?
I don't know.
Everyone said it was right there for the taking.
I'm trying to think what year that would have been.
2019, right before COVID, maybe? 2020?
Has Lincoln been there that long?
Well, USC, the 8-4 he's talking about, or whatever he said, 8-5. He said 8-5. The 8-4 was in 2019 at USC.
Yeah.
So now they kept Helton for another year. He got another year. I'd have to see what he did in 2020 during COVID.
They fired him during the season, I think, or maybe right after.
2022 was Lincoln Riley's first year at USC.
It was 21. They fired him in the middle of the season in 21, I think.
Yeah,
right?
In Jacksonville, yeah.
No, not Urban.
Both, actually.
Yeah.
Urban would have been 2021, fired in Jacksonville at a similar time where Clay Helton was fired from USC.
He said, now I remember, he said, I think when Coward asked him, he said, if the Cowboys called, would you answer? And he said, that's the one job that I would certainly answer the phone for.
Always good to have leverage, Rothman.
All right, anyway, I thought that was interesting, though, that he put USC in that mindset.
Well, they should be there, but the problem is nobody in California cares about college football. Yeah. And if they do, they care about teams that aren't located there, like Ohio State or Michigan or whoever else. Ohio State goes out there, they'll fill up the Coliseum, they'll fill up the Rose Bowl, but people are going there to see Ohio State. Nobody cares. It's crazy. Nobody cares about Stanford. No one cares about Cal. Like, no one goes to those games. Like, USC is playing, big-time teams out there, and no one's going to the Coliseum. Like, Pete Carroll maybe did the best job ever of making it cool, but that was back when they didn't have NFL. And I don't know if that you can reproduce that right now.
Boy, it's all history based because USC was one of the most successful programs in college football history.
Oh, absolutely.
And you have multiple national championships. You have Heisman Trophy winners.
You have everything.
Yeah.
Except for fans.
That's so weird.
People quit caring. I don't know what happened.
Their rivalry with UCLA used to be something.
It was big.
Yeah.
And no one cares about it now. It's crazy. Like it doesn't make any sense other than the fact that people in California just don't care about college football. They don't care about much. It's a nihilist.
They used to care. Boy, that must be exhausting.
Exactly. Good job out of you.
All right. Here's your Buckeye Bulletin for today. So this is a classic off-season storyline about like power ranking quarterbacks in the NFL. But one former quarterback did it, and we'll see if his list matches up with ours. That's next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Bobby Carpenter demands that you watch Morning Juice on YouTube. If you don't, Tito will move into your house.
Live at 6 a.m. on YouTube and streaming on the Fan app.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
Lindsay Automotive is Central Ohio's big certified pre-owned outlet. LindsayCertified.com makes it easy to find the right car at the right price. All models include certified warranties and inspections, new car financing, and more.
Up to 1,000 pre-owned to choose from.
No matter what kind of vehicle you're looking for, Lindsay has it. Cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. You'll love the shopping experience, whether online or in person.
Shop LindsayCertified.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Summer's heating up, and so are the deals at Germain Toyota of Columbus. Whether you're cruising to the lake or hauling your weekend gear, Germain, well, they've got the truck to help you get it done. Right now, get 2.99 APR for up to 72 months on the rugged 2024 Tacoma, or step up to the powerful 2025 Tundra, also 2.99 for 72 months. These summer savings, they won't last forever. So visit Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or online at germaintoyota.net.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
For a lot of us, saving up a down payment can be the biggest barrier to buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus. Because everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
The big focus in America today is on your health, and you're determined to look beyond pills and steroids and surgery to feel your best, right? So I want to talk to the person who is in pain right now. Or maybe it's someone you love. You've done everything they told you to do, and the pain just keeps coming back. Hey, it's Tyvus Powell for QC Kinetics. They are different. These are not quick fixes. This is a revolutionary treatment that works to give your body long-term relief. You'll meet face-to-face with Dr. Aaron Wilkoff and the QC Kinetics medical team. They'll explain how their regenerative treatments take your body's own healing power and helps heal and restore your damaged tissue. These are well-respected protocols that include potent and powerful cellular level treatments. QC Kinetics has helped tens of thousands of people, so many of them right here in Columbus, Ohio. They'd be honored to help you as well. Yes, you can say goodbye to that chronic pain and live your best life. Find out if you're a good candidate. The consultation is free. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Teams are battling for the championship, and there's no better place to get in on the intensity than ESPN Bet. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ, that's JOEQ, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
This just in, the NFL schedule has dropped, and you know what that means. It's go time. Adam Schefter here with the Insider Tip. If you're trying to catch your team live this season, Vivid Seats is the move. For the best selection of games and seats, it's time to snap your tickets up now. Vivid Seats has great deals on great seats and the only rewards program in the game. It's no wonder they're the official ticketing partner of ESPN. So don't wait. Head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in those game days.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Jacob Reimer. The Reds go for the season sweep of the Guardians today, although that's not looking very good right now. They are currently underway up in Cleveland with the Guardians up 5-0 in the bottom of the third inning, thanks to a grand slam from Carlos Santana. It's a battle of lefties on the mound today with Nick Lodolo throwing for the Reds and Logan Allen has the ball for the Guardians. You can find that game over on 1460 ESPN Columbus. After a 2-day break, the NBA Finals resumes tonight. After splitting the first 2 games in Oklahoma City, the series now switches to Indiana for Game 3. Tip-off between the Pacers and Thunders tonight at 8:30. In an off night in the Stanley Cup Final tonight, they pick things up tomorrow night in Game 4. The Panthers lead the series 2-1. This one's sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Rates as low as 5.54% and a $400 cash bonus when you refinance your auto loan with BMI Federal Credit Union.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, final hour of the program. We'll have Ryan Roberts, NFL draft and college football analyst, on at 2:30. He's with A to Z Sports, the NFL. And I think I'm going to ask him to maybe give me a Heisman prediction this year. Because I think he may come with a wild card, maybe a wild card quarterback. Just have a weird feeling. I'm kind of I'm in the Nussmeier camp a little bit. I'll be curious to see where he is on the Heisman. We'll do that at 2:30. My man Carp is in today, doing like 3-4 days today here, running all over town, and stopped in to help us with Maddie out with a lower back issue. Cole gave him some massage therapist phone numbers that he has, so we should get him back on the mend fairly soon.
Did you give him back on the mend? Is there a D on that?
Back on the men or the mend?
The mend.
Okay, I just want to make sure. It was very soft.
Yeah.
Very softy. I mean, we got stuff for that, though. Did you give him your contact at the Orchids?
Yes, and it will
of Asia.
It will end happily.
That's good. Said give him the Big Bob special.
It's a business doing pleasure with you. All right, so whose list is this again? Chris Sims?
Chris Sims.
Okay. So Chris Sims came up with a power-ranked NFL quarterback list that has people a little up in arms based on not who he has number 1, but who he has number 4. And you have the list in front of you?
I do.
All right.
So taking it from the top, actually, there's a pretty big gap between 4 and 5. So we were having a lot of conversation before the show. Lamar 1, Josh Allen 2, Joe Burrow 3, Patrick Mahomes 4. We can start there before we get through all the wild cards.
Yeah, what is he doing?
Okay.
Oh,
well, there's a difference between. Well, there shouldn't be a difference between talent and clutchness, or if you had to win a game today, who would you want?
What was this, the most talented quarterback?
No. I think he was just, right, Cole? What was the headline on it? Just the power ranking the quarterbacks.
Yep. Sims 2025 QB Countdown Top 10.
Who he thinks is the best quarterback, which can't just be talent. Because if it's just talent, then Lamar Jackson, I have got no real issue with him being number one from a talent standpoint.
Who was 3?
Burrow.
Joey.
Wait, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Lamar, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Mahomes, listen, he's one of those guys. The supporting cast hasn't always helped. He had to do way too much in the Super Bowl. I think this might be a reaction to the Super Bowl a little bit, but that wouldn't make any sense because wait till you hear where he has Hurts. So it's there's a certain playmaking clutchness performance that he has that he did not show in the Super Bowl because his line failed him and he didn't have the weapons to do it and he forced it. And the Eagles were damn good anyway, especially defensively. So he should be number one, but I don't think it's a landslide anymore. Like he is the one. If you had to win a game today, why would you pick Lamar Jackson? He has shown that he can't win the big game yet. He's still a former multiple MVP, so you're not taking that away from him, Bob. But if you had to win a game today, all rosters being equal, I think you'd want Mahomes, based on the fact that Allen and Lamar haven't cracked through yet. Joey's the only one that's won at Kansas City and almost won the Super Bowl. And so I would actually go Mahomes 1, I'd probably go, I really don't have any serious problem with Lamar being 2, but I almost need to see it more. I really could probably put Mahomes 1, Burrow 2, Lamar, then Josh in that order. That almost sounds like the top tier to me.
I would almost say that you have Mahomes as 1 and the other 3 are basically equal. They're all different, but they're all the same as far as their ability. Now, I will say this about Lamar. I mean, if Cole wants to fire up the tweet, or fire up the sound, he can't throw it and catch it himself.
Mm-hmm.
He can only throw it to Mark Andrews on the goal line.
He's talking about Giselle, just to let you know. My husband.
I wonder if Maddie's listening.
5.
You can't find it?
Maddie is in an anti-inflammatory coma right now.
Which page is it on?
You always have it queued up and ready to go.
Not the Giselle.
Actually, you know what? The system is failing me this time.
I thought it was the Andrews.
Oh, you're talking about the Andrews drop?
I knew what he wanted.
Oh, I thought you were talking about when Giselle was backing Tommy and saying, my husband can't throw it and catch it at the same time. She said that.
Husband.
Milos is my husband.
What the hell's wrong with the system?
Oh, don't worry.
Lamar is coming off a great season. But he also threw a horrible interception.
He did throw a bad pick, but he did throw it right to Matt Andrews. Not Matt.
But let me ask you this. Do you think he is the most dynamic player at the position, or do you think Mahomes is? I'm talking about arm talent and rushing ability.
I think he is.
If you had to combine the two, he's elite.
The guy who I would want to stop the least would be him.
As a defensive
guy. Because he's somebody that can outrun just about everyone on your defense.
So his playoff record is what's holding him back from being number one.
Yes.
It has to. So all of a sudden he's one of those guys that if he doesn't have a Lombardi, he's going to join the Marino club. He may eclipse Marino as the best to never have won the Super Bowl.
That's a title you're looking for.
Right. Exactly. All the MVPs aren't going to make up for that. So anyway, I think that having Mahomes 4 is just a basic reaction to what happened in the Super Bowl.
But I don't put that on him. They couldn't block anybody.
That's right.
If you put Lamar, Josh Allen, or Joe Burrow back there, they look about the same. You've got to have some level of blocking. They ate that Chiefs offensive line up for breakfast, man. They couldn't do anything. Yeah. They couldn't run the ball, and he couldn't get any time. So maybe Lamar, in that situation, because he was such a great athlete, would have had maybe the best chance of everybody. But I couldn't say you'd pin that on the quarterback. I don't pin that on Mahomes. There are no answers.
Listen, when they had Tyreek and when Kelsey was in his prime.
And they could block.
And they could block. He lost Rashee Rice this year to a knee injury. And you're right. They had a combination offensive line, a band-aided offensive line.
Against an elite defensive line. It's like when they lost to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, same thing.
It was the same thing.
Same thing.
And you know what? I'll tell you this. It's like when the Giants beat the Patriots. If you have an elite defensive line and they have offensive line that's struggling a little bit, it's gonna be. I don't care who else you have out there. You can put out Jerry Rice, Chris Carter, and Randy Moss. You can't get the ball out of your hand.
Yeah. Joe's done a pretty good job at navigating an average offensive line lately.
He's not
although
dead,
he's had some,
yeah.
and he's had some bad picks. He's taken some bad sacks, but of course you're going to do that. So I would have Mahomes, then Lamar. I'm sorry, I almost put Joey there at 2, but
they're all the
Lamar,
same.
Yeah,
Man.
they're probably all interchangeable.
They're all the same. They're different quarterbacks, but like you could interchange about an offense around them, and I'd feel equally good about all those guys.
They're all the top tier.
Yes,
it's Mahomes and then those 3. All right, where does he go at 5?
At 5, we got Jaden Daniels, which feels a little bit premature.
Yeah, you can't crown him the 5th best quarterback.
Than Rothman?
Yes.
Very proud of you. That's very nice.
That's very nice. I don't think you can crown him the 5th best quarterback in the NFL.
No.
After a great rookie season.
I would say that
he's poised. He's handled pressure really well. It was probably the best rookie season we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And so, but now we have to find a guy to put 5 there. And I had put Stafford there.
Who is number 6?
Yeah. Now, he's not coming off his best season, obviously, but he's got a pretty good command. And we're talking about best, not best teams.
But they were, no one expected them to even make the playoffs last year.
They had a shaky offensive line,
they were rebuilding. And
weapons were injured.
Yeah, they were in a transition period, and they were still really good.
Yeah, and I know you think a lot of him, and so do I. When he's locked in, he's the 5th best quarterback.
His arm is ridiculous, and he's 37. He's getting a little older, but he can still do it.
Yeah, this isn't about ranking the future, because of course you take Jaden over him, but this is about now.
It's the Bob Seger list we've got tonight.
Who needs tomorrow?
7 Stroud, 8 Herbert.
7
Okay, I was wondering when CJ was going to come in there, and because I don't hate that. I mean, he's been pretty darn good for a couple of years.
I would not have him above Jalen Hurts,
who's down at 10 beneath Baker Mayfield.
A little surprising.
That might be the biggest upset on the board. He's below Baker, the touchdown maker.
He's struggled under pressure. I agree with that, but his poise and his control and what he's done, and now what he's accomplished. And it's a team game, but I would definitely have him 5. And
he
then
has elite wide receivers, a really good offensive line, a really good defense.
And
he has Barkley.
Off the top of the head, missing quarterbacks of note: Jared Goff,
Dak, probably.
Dak, Brock Purdy, Tua, to whatever you think.
I think
of those
Purdy should be in there.
Jordan Love.
What's Love got to do with it? I think Purdy should be up there.
You don't think it's... He's good, but system-related.
So here's the thing. You can put other guys in that system and they won't be as good. You could go put him in another team and he probably won't be great, but he's really good at running that system. And so I wouldn't say he's like 4 or 5, but I would say the problem is I like to cluster things because I don't want to say, like, is this guy better than that guy? Mm-hmm. Like, it's tough to always say that because there's, like I said, that group, I would put them all together at the top outside of Mahomes. But there's other guys that I think are very similar to Purdy, at least of how I view them right now in their career.
Putting Mahomes 4th is the thing that's just blinking. That's the one. All right, we'll come back. And is this season put up or shut up for this quarterback, who we haven't mentioned, who is on his list in the top 10? That's next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
The Ravens break the huddle. Tylan Wallace puts wide to the left. Bateman wide to the right. Derrick Henry in the backfield. Isaiah Likely comes in motion, sets in the slot to the right. For the tie, the 2-point conversion. Lamar takes the snap, rolls to the right, throws, complete. No! He dropped it. Mark Andrews hit him in the hands. And Mark Andrews dropped it as he fell into the end zone.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey, it's Anthony. Comfort is king. We all strive for it, but life gets in the way. You know that. And oh, my aching feet is not just a cliche. That's why the Good Feet store, in my opinion, has the best arch support solutions engineered to help you and me live the life we love without pain. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. I'm a customer. I have their 3-step system put right into all my shoes. They support, balance, and strengthen my feet and really guide them right into their ideal position. Every step I take, every move I make, I get relief. Not from the song, although I love that, but from my personally fit arch supports from the Good Feet store. Your free fitting is designed to help them understand you, your pain, and your discomfort, your personalized system. You'll walk out wearing your new arch supports hassle-free and begin living the life you love without pain. The Good Feet store on Stringtown Road in Grove City or Polaris Parkway. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
When sudden illness or injury strike, Ohio State offers 3 types of urgent care to meet any of your needs. From traditional urgent care to our specialized orthopedic urgent care for activity-related injuries and advanced urgent care for more serious injury and illness, Ohio State's experts treat everything from broken bones to ear infections and colds and flu. When your illness or injury can't wait, the choice is clear.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here. The new weight loss meds are having results, but what happens after you stop taking them? I didn't want to rent my results. I wanted to own them, to keep the weight off. I chose the medication-free solution for weight loss, Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Don't miss the Right Rug Flooring Outlet Super Sale. Save up to 80% on truckloads of floors and more, including tiles starting at 19 cents a square foot and a massive selection of laminate, luxury vinyl, and carpet, all drastically reduced. Cabinets and lighting fixtures, too. Save up to 80% during the Right Rug Flooring Outlet Super Sale on Pop Road in Whitehall. 24-month financing is available with approved credit. Hurry, the Outlet Super Sale ends June 22nd. Dealers welcome.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
Join Rothman and Ice every Thursday at 2:30 for Gold Jacket Thursday.
Presented by the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
A new Hall of Famer joins the show every week, but not OJ because he's dead and probably a murderer. The Fan.
Hey, I'm Ruben. My band and I have a new song we're getting ready to record this weekend. I'm also a tow truck driver. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I get to go home at the end of the day and see my bandmates.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Make sure you have plenty of water as well as sunscreen in your bag as you head out the door today. We will have sunshine all day with afternoon highs in the mid to low 80s. Down into the 60s tonight with mostly clear skies, and then another day of sunshine and heat as we get temperatures up right around 90 degrees. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, a little Bet365 time, because at Bet365, it's never ordinary, and it's the official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Guardians. Bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. They've got great boosts, great parlays, great safety net bets. Had one last night. The Nerfy came in. No runs first inning in the Guards and Reds. In fact, there was only 1 run scored in the whole game. And so cashed that one. I was trying to find a way to just get myself even money on Scotty Scheffler. Just somehow get it to even money. He's such an overwhelming favorite. And you can bet him to win at plus money, but I was coming up with something where I wouldn't bet him to win and I could get him even money. And this is what I did. So I have Scheffler top 5 and the Pacers. I'm going to tease that thing up to 14.5 tonight at home.
Okay.
So the Pacers getting 14.5 and Scheffler finishing top 5, including ties at the Open. That gets me to plus 103. So at least I'd have plus money on Scheffler not winning, because I'll tell you, you put him top 10, you'll never get him to plus money. So that'll be the bet. I think a couple of maybe guys that could make the cut that would be interesting would be Russell Henley and Harris English. Harris English has never missed a cut at the U.S. Open. Oakmont's different.
And he never slices?
And right. Gambling's illegal at Bushwood, and he never slices. Well done. Get your chance. Get in on it. They've got some great specials at Bet365. You got a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Got to be 21 or only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
The other thing is our podcast. If you miss anything from it, is sponsored by Bet365. So go back, listen to some fun segments that you missed. Don't go all the way back to 2018. It won't exist when I predicted that Urban would get 3 games. Biddle chimed in now. AR actually was not initially happy that I put that out there. LOL. It wasn't that I wasn't happy. It's when he tweets, E.F. Hutton, people listen. And that was, I just wanted to let him know that my phone was blowing up, that now people think this is official. That's all I was telling him.
You put me in the middle of a firestorm is what happened. You weren't even aware, Rothman.
Exactly. I wasn't even, it was just a guess. It's just a guy on the phone on Carpenter and Rothman. That's all it was. All right, this is the other guy that I think is the big wild card, because I think he's got talent. He may be better than Trevor Lawrence. I'm not really sure. Lawrence might be the biggest wild card because he's got talent, but Justin Herbert is a guy that we've seen glimpses of. Great athlete, big, strong dude, and had some injuries himself, has played hurt. And who is this on Herbert? Kind of do or die for him.
Craig Carton via Breakfast Ball on FS1.
Okay.
Now it's about time to put up or shut up. Not for Harbaugh so much, but for Justin Herbert. Because you're getting paid like you're one of the top 4 or 5 quarterbacks in all of football. And most people agree, just pure talent-wise, he's got the arm, right? Yeah. But that doesn't work until you have some level of postseason success. And it doesn't have to be a Super Bowl. But there does come a point where the postseason is an every year thing, and winning a playoff game or 2 becomes regular.
Hi. Here's the thing about Herbert. He is a really, really good quarterback, like he's saying. I think he's right, when things aren't that heated.
Yeah.
Like, he has not been able to rise to the pressure. Now,
but he's also fairly young, and sometimes that gets better as you get older. And they've insulated him there. The one thing Jim Harbaugh is really good at doing is insulating their quarterback from doing too much. You look at what J.J. McCarthy had to do right there. We're going to run the ball. We're going to pound it, take shots over the top. Now, that works as long as you don't get down 14 points, and you can dictate the tempo and the pace of a game. And so that's the question you have for Herbert is, if you get down and you've got to get into a shooting match with a Pat Mahomes, if you will, can you keep pace?
Right. They lean into that physicality in the run game. They have Ladd McConkey, who I thought was very good last year. Mike Williams has now been way too injured. Quentin Johnston is feast or famine, and mostly famine. And so they need... Now, they did draft... who'd they draft? Trey Harris, I guess. I feel like they need to get him another weapon. Outside of Ladd McConkey, they haven't found a true big-time receiver. They had him. They had him in the past, whether it was Keenan or Mike Williams, certainly, but the injuries. But, man, Ladd McConkey is the best playmaker they have.
That Ladd?
Boy, that young lad. He's pretty damn good. Pretty good fantasy quarterback. Here's the PFF grade because I just looked it up. His 91 overall grade over the past 3 seasons ranks. Where do you think it ranks, Bob? His overall grade on PFF over the past 3 seasons, where does it rank when you exclude playoff performances? I'm sorry, give me his rank first over the past 3 seasons. His grade.
Like a number?
They gave me a 91. Where do you think that ranks?
I would say that probably ranks 7th.
You were so close. It was 6th, or it is 6th. And when you exclude playoff games, his passing grade actually tops Mahomes. Here's the difference. When you look at standard game situations or outside of late game or high pressure moments, he's got the second highest passing grade in the league. So, like you said, another year of growth under Harbaugh, get him another weapon, get him over the hump. I believe in Justin Herbert. I don't think he's some sort of a bust.
Yeah, he's been really good.
Yeah, he has.
Just hasn't got done in the playoffs. So you know what? Get in line with, Lamar Jackson. Lamar's been better in the regular season, but Herbert has shown you that he's really good. He just has to be good when it matters now.
The other guy that's going to be interesting, Bob, to see what he loses this year, losing Ben Johnson, is Goff. Because that is an offense. He's got every advantage going. And we get to find out how much of that was tied to Ben Johnson pretty fast. He's been a top 10 quarterback over the last 2 years.
If you're just watching their offense, even to just the untrained eye, if you don't know anything about it, it's incredibly innovative. I'm seeing things I've never seen out here before. And so that becomes the question is, can they replicate that innovation? And if they can't, do we see more of the Goff we saw in Los Angeles, which was good, but not the guy that we're seeing in Detroit?
The Jordan Love situation, because I had somebody tell me about Jordan Love's not on his list, is it? On Sim's list of top 10 guys?
No, he missed the top 10.
Boy, would you take him over Baker right now? I mean, Baker's pulled off this incredible second act, third act, whatever you want to do. And he's delivered.
In bad division.
And with different offensive coordinators, too, though.
I love Cole's just shot.
Yeah, he just kind of slipped it in a bad division.
I love Baker, so I feel even dejected mentioning that, but that's like a 9-8 type division.
And that's fine. Did they win a playoff game last year? Or did they lose to the Rams?
Lost to Washington?
Yeah,
they lose to Washington.
I feel like they won a game, but
was that 2 years ago? Maybe 2 years ago they won a game or two. But
I think that's right.
He's made some noise. Todd Bowles is a good coach. Their team is a little bit. Listen, the other thing I'll give him credit for.
They beat Philly. They cracked Philly.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Cracked them in Tampa.
So
and lost at Detroit in a very tough game.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they were close on the doorstep of making a run, despite that maybe the record wasn't great. I think the other thing you got to realize with Tampa is they geared up to go win with Tom. And so then they were kind of strip a little bit away, and so they're kind of drafting to rebuild at that point now. But you got a stable coach and 2 really good receivers. Now 3 with Emeka.
Speaking of Tampa, Gold Jacket Thursday tomorrow. I think I got Rondé Barber.
Ooh,
and that's
Help me, Rondé.
That's a special player. That's a guy who was probably not predicted to be as good as he was.
I love Rondé Barber.
Yeah. Tiki got more run.
Tiki played in New York.
Yeah.
He played running back.
Running back, yeah.
And he was a corner on a really good defense. And he played for a lot longer than his brother, too.
Yeah. That was so weird when Dungy got so close and had all those playoff games, and then they fired him, and they get Gruden, and he predicts they're going to go win the Super Bowl, and they do. Against his former team.
It was. That's why you love the NFL. The story is stranger than fiction. You couldn't even write that up. You're going to fire
Wasn't
again.
Parcells going to get that job after Dungy was fired? I always thought Parcells was the guy the Glazers were going to go with. Do you remember that in 2000?
Maybe he went to Dallas in 3, I think. So that he would have been available.
Oh, I thought it was a done deal. I'm wondering. I'm going to have to ask Rondé if he ever heard when Dungy got fired, because he loved Dungy.
Yeah,
and I'm wondering how he felt at that point, and then if he heard any rumors that Parcells was the guy, and maybe why that
I never heard that, but that was long before my time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I remember it, but
yeah. Well, I'm sure there are many things that I've done before your time.
That's true.
We come back in 2 minutes with Ryan Roberts, NFL draft and college football analyst. Who does he have winning the Heisman? Find out next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Go beyond your field of study and get a world-class education in leadership. As an Army officer, you'll work side by side with peers who support your growth, and you'll become a role model, mentor, and decision maker in any environment, at any scale. It's a challenging path, but along the way, you'll sharpen your skills and show yourself and those around you exactly what you're capable of. Decide to lead at goarmy.com/officer.
The Ohio State University ROTC has scholarships available. Learn more at arotc.osu.edu.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
When sudden illness or injury strike, Ohio State offers 3 types of urgent care to meet any of your needs. From traditional urgent care to our specialized orthopedic urgent care for activity-related injuries and advanced urgent care for more serious injury and illness, Ohio State's experts treat everything from broken bones to ear infections and colds and flu. When your illness or injury can't wait, the choice is clear.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Matty is a diehard Reds fan. I mean, where else is he going to go? You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Very exciting year coming up in college football. It always is. Ohio State trying to defend with a brand new quarterback. They've got perhaps the biggest non-conference game right out of the gate against Texas, but to handle all of college football and some draft stuff for us, our friend Ryan Roberts, A to Z Sports, covering the NFL as well. Ryan, welcome back, my man.
I appreciate you guys. How's everybody doing?
Outstanding. Give me your take on the Heisman this year. It seems like it's fairly up for grabs. Obviously, always a quarterback award. We feel like certainly if we knew exactly what Ohio State had at quarterback, maybe Jeremiah Smith would be a guy people would sprinkle a little money on, but do you have an outlier for Heisman this year or a fairly predictable one?
Oh, it's a good question. We actually just did a Heisman draft over at A to Z Sports.
A Heisman draft. Nice.
Hey, man, it is June. We are in the dead period of the offseason right now, right? So you got to get a little bit creative. But, I mean, it's such a weird year because, like, there's a lot of talent coming back in college football at quarterback, but there's not a lot of proven talents, right? I mean, like we're talking about, Arch Manning and his ascension in his first year at Texas. You're talking about Lenore Sellers in year 2 as a starter in South Carolina. You're talking about a lot of those guys. I mean, I would probably defer to like a Lenore Sellers if like I had to pick a guy that maybe is a little bit under in terms of like where the Heisman odds are that could potentially be that guy because it's such a quarterback driven award. But like it's just not a known commodity of quarterbacks this year, like a lot of people in Notre Dame land are, talking about Jeremiah Love and his chances, but it's just quarterbacks just win that thing.
Who
but
went
I
first
think an outside chance
in your draft?
Say it again?
Who went first in your draft?
So the first overall selection, I had number 2 and I picked Arch Manning, which is kind of really cliche. I think number 1, man, I don't even actually remember. That's a good question. I just remember he was off the board, and I don't even remember.
Was it? Okay, I'll guess. Maybe it'll come up. Was it Aller? I doubt it was Aller, but
it was definitely a quarterback. I don't think it was Aller. I don't think it was Nussmeier.
Carson Beck?
No, I don't think so. Actually, if you guys could be.
Oh wait, we got it. We have it. It was Klubnik.
Oh.
That's shocking.
I think it was Klubnik. Yeah, yep, I'm looking at it right now.
Because of his experience, I guess.
Clemson's bringing a lot of momentum, obviously. I know they have their 3 top pass catchers back. Their offensive line is pretty much intact, and Klubnik just threw 36-6 last year, right? So, like, a lot of optimism in Clemson land. So, I mean, maybe they take the next step, or, we'll see what happens, obviously.
Yeah, it's very interesting. What are your thoughts with Carson Beck? Because he was the odds-on favorite last year, I think, at the start of the season, and then obviously that trailed off in the injury. But now being at Miami, do you feel like that's a good situation for him?
Not especially, because I think we saw 2 parallels of Carson Beck. We saw the one in 2023 where he had a good offensive line in front of him. He had a better, just kind of stable supporting cast. But then last year, wide receivers were among the biggest leaders in college football as a group in drops, and the offensive line really struggled with injury and just kind of consistency. And I think that you saw when Carson Beck is protected and he's in good structure and in a good system, I think he's pretty good college quarterback. When he's not, I just don't think he's an elevator, right? Like, I think we always talk about, like, system quarterbacks. What's a system quarterback? Well, I think that's the perfect example. A guy that is good when everything's good, but when it's not good, he probably isn't a guy that's necessarily going to make players around him a ton better. And Miami, offensive line should be pretty good, but, I mean, pass catchers, I mean, they lost everybody from last year, right? So, like, you're breaking in a whole new group of pass catchers. C.J. Daniels comes in from LSU. You're hoping that JoJo Trader can take a big step as a sophomore. But I think that there's going to be some early season struggles. I think that Miami might be a team that's going to ideologically change a little bit, though, this year. They might be more of after having Cam Ward last year, I think they're going to run the football a whole lot more. So if they can get a run game going, I think it'll be okay. But if they just ask Carson Beck to put it on his shoulders and be that guy, I just don't really think he's that guy, to be honest with you.
We've watched Oregon, follow Bo Nix with Dylan Gabriel and Heisman finalist in that offense. They should still have plenty of weapons. Is Dante Moore as talented as anybody you've seen?
Yeah, I think he is as talented, just from a pure passing perspective. He's not quite the athlete that Bo Nix obviously was. Like, Bo was a legit, 4'6" athlete, like, very underrated athlete. I think Dante is one of, I remember him coming out of high school. He came out of Detroit, Michigan, and he was one of the more pro-ready passers that you saw in college football. And unfortunately, he went into a UCLA offense that just didn't have a ton of talent, and Chip Kelly was on the end of his tenure there, obviously, and he struggled a lot. But I do think him sitting for a year behind Dylan Gabriel, acclimating to the Oregon system, I do think that's going to be good for him. I wish that Evan Stewart didn't just get injured, right? Like, his top pass catcher coming back. But I think that system under Will Stein is really quarterback friendly, and I think that Dante Moore is a very, very talented quarterback. And I think overall he'll have a lot of success as long as everybody else stays healthy.
So we've seen this shift the last couple of years, I think, from the SEC to maybe the more northern schools where, or at least from traditional SEC schools as well, where you had Michigan win it in 24 or 23. Last year, Ohio State wins it, but you have Notre Dame running through Georgia. Texas is the SEC representative, which is Johnny come lately to the SEC. Ultimately, you have Notre Dame and Penn State, and with Notre Dame and Ohio State in the final. Do you feel like that trend will continue? And is this something like with the NIL stuff and the transfer portal that this has kind of leveled everything a little bit?
100%. Yeah, I think that with the space the way it is, with the transfer portal combined with the NIL and the pay-for-play and everything kind of rolled into one, I do think that talent has gotten a lot more dispersed. Like, we're seeing, obviously Oregon going to the Big Ten last year and having a little bit more power up top in the Big Ten. And, they've been kind of just the second-best conference in all of college football the last few years. But then, the last couple of years now, you're like, okay, Big Ten versus SEC, like, that's a legitimate conversation that we can have from a up top and a depth perspective now. So I think that's going to continue ultimately. Like, I think that it is in a great spot because ultimately it's not even just the fact that guys are looking for paydays, you can't pay everybody, like that type of conversation. I also think that like some schools, like some Southern schools, are the reason that they're getting some players is strictly off of payday. And when you're getting players strictly off of payday, I think that leaves more wiggle room to lose guys eventually because maybe they didn't commit to a spot for the best situation ultimately, right? And when they get there and they don't love the situation and it's all built on money, well, there's going to be money other places ultimately, right? So I think that Notre Dame, Ohio State, Michigan, some of these other northern schools, And you can even throw, I mean, obviously Oregon's a West team, but like you could throw them in for their affiliation with the Big Ten. I think that's helping those types of teams a lot because it is evening the playing field, but I think it's maybe making people rethink positions, and especially with just how easy it is to transfer nowadays. Like I do think that's helping to level the playing field in a big way.
Ryan, let me take you back quickly to Penn State because I think there's just they're poised to either make this leap and crash through their glass ceiling, or it's just going to be classic big game James failure again. But they did pretty light in the portal, I guess, but they did help themselves in the receiver area a little bit. Maybe you can give me thoughts on that. Did they add enough? And because they retained Aller and Denai Sutton and Singleton and Allen, and they've got a pretty good recruiting class here, off to a pretty strong start, it looks like, in 26. But do they have enough star power this year to break they took Jim Knowles from Ohio State. Where are they in your mind of trust factor that they are now legitimately national title contenders?
Well, I think from a pure just top level starters, I think that the Penn State has the best roster in the Big Ten coming back. Now, Ohio State has the best overall roster because of the depth that they have and the recruiting impact that they consistently have. But like they're very young, obviously, right? Like in certain spots. But I do think that Penn State just, from that top level, like they can compete with just anybody in college football. But I'm very open about this. I don't trust James Franklin at all. Like I just don't. Like I like Andy Coltonecki as an offensive coordinator. I think he's a brilliant offensive mind. Jim Knowles is a great defensive coordinator. I do think one thing to watch with Coach Knowles, though, is that Coach Knowles is a much better year 2, year 3 coordinator than year 1. Like at each of his stops, Oklahoma State, and even this most recent with Ohio State, those defenses do tend to struggle a little bit in year 1, and they're a lot better year 2, year 3, and eventually become elite level defenses. So I think that transition is just something to keep an eye on. But those coordinators are the best in college football, in my opinion, as a tandem, right? And I think that the talent is great. But ultimately, here's the thing. It's not even just a Franklin thing. The two most important things for a football team, head coach and quarterback, I have concerns about both of those for Penn State. So I think that they have a chance to potentially win the Big Ten. I think they can make a little bit of a run in the playoffs. But as a national title contender, I'm still going to sell them just because I don't believe them in the most important spots that I need to believe in the team, in my opinion.
Yeah. Good stuff, Ryan. Appreciate your time on short notice. We'll have you back again soon. Thanks, bud.
I appreciate you guys. Have a great day.
Ryan Roberts, NFL Draft, college football analyst, A to Z Sports NFL. The interesting about this year, Bob, and this usually happened against Ohio State, where Penn State would always have a bye week before Ohio State. They do again. Mm-hmm. The game is here, though. Oh. And here's the other caveat. Ohio State also has their bye week before.
Oh,
so there's 2 weeks of hype before that game here in Columbus. We come back with Tell the Truth. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic. Oh, yes. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
Back in the 1880s, the Reds had a tall first baseman by the name of Long John Riley, and his career almost had a tragic and early ending. In his rookie season, on this date, June 11th, 1880, traveling to join the Reds in Providence, Rhode Island, Riley was on a steamboat that hit another ship and quickly sank. Riley escaped, but spent an hour in the cold waters of Long Island Sound before he was rescued. He was lucky. 30 of his fellow passengers drowned in the accident. Riley, a Cincinnati native, went on to have a fine 10-year career, all with the Reds. But this was the day he'd always remember, the day he survived the steamboat accident, June 11th, 1880, this date in Reds baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
Don't sweat it. Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your air conditioner fast. 1-800-COOLING.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
A healthy body needs good food. This summer, the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce is sponsoring Sun Meals, a summer food program where kids eat free. Children under 18 receive healthy meals and no sign-up is required. Locations may be right in your neighborhood. Call 1-866-348-6479 or visit education.ohio.gov/kidseat for meal locations and times. That's education.ohio.gov/kidseat.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. Summer is officially here, and so are the rising temperatures. Before you know it, you'll be wondering what else you can do to keep cool during the dog days of summer. You want to beat the heat and keep the AC in your home? Get Window Nation's energy-efficient vinyl windows. During their semi-annual sale, you can buy 4 windows and get 4 windows free. Plus a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows, and no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments until 2027. So how exactly do they keep their prices affordable? It's a great question. Window Nation works directly with the top window manufacturers in the country, which means all their windows are assembled right here in the USA. Plus, their windows come with a lifetime warranty, so you'll keep saving long into the future. Window Nation's semi-annual sale ends soon. So buy 4 windows, get 4 windows free, and a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows, plus pay nothing until 2027. Schedule your estimate right now, 866-90-NATION, or visit windownation.com. Once again, that number, 866-90-NATION, or go to their website, windownation.com.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh, no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With Truehold, you can sell your home for its current value, so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. Truehold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since Truehold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Cosby Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Window Nation. Now buy 4 windows, get 4 free, plus a free entry door with a house of windows. Visit windownation.com.
All right, a little tell the truth times. We wrap it up with my man Bobby Carpenter, nice enough to jump in for the Iceman today. TLC, I hope this is all prepared around BC. And
well, sometimes when you wake up, Rothman, I'm already here.
Big Ern McCracken is already here.
I do have I have at least one Bobby-themed tell the truth, because I need redemption on this question in the worst way. Bobby, who did you think was going to draft you?
There were 5 possibilities that I had met with on my 30 visits in the order that they had picked: Cleveland, Miami, Dallas, New England, and the Jets. One of those 5, I thought it was probably either going to be Miami, Dallas, or New England, because I thought Cleveland was a little high, and I was hoping I wouldn't be there for the Jets, and I didn't want to go live on Long Island. So, and Saban was a coach at Miami at the time, and I thought that would have been good. I was hoping Dallas, and Dallas pulled me in.
Were you playing the state income tax game at all? You're like, 100%. Dallas and Miami, let's go.
I said cost of living and where I'm going to live. And income, all that stuff, and like how much it costs to live there. It's like Long Island. You kidding me? Like in taxes, and plus on top of that, like I didn't want to live on Long Island. But there was a lot of components that went into that. But the Cowboys pulled me into like a meeting in the combine after everybody else had turned out their lights. Like, meet us back here at 11 o'clock. I'm like, you sure? They're like, yes. And Parcells, ironically, had left the combine already. And my agent, who was his agent, he goes, Bill's not going to be in your meeting. He's leaving because he doesn't want Belichick to think that he's going to take you and have him trade up for you.
That's awesome.
It was craziness.
Man.
The Pioli's sitting in there, and they're like kind of hammering me a little bit. Or no, that was with New England, but it was Jeff Ireland in there at the time, who's now running the Saints stuff, and he's awesome. Good dude.
I asked Warren Sapp that question. Here's what he said to me.
That alarm clock went off a long time ago. You can go to the next subject.
That's right. Done.
That alarm clock went off
a long time ago.
I mean, it's just a question, man.
But you remember the pre stuff that went around Sapp the night before the draft?
Is that when he had like some sort of sexual deal?
No, it was the drug stuff.
Before Jeremy Tunsil, there was Sapp?
Yeah, but no, it wasn't like Sapp was caught on video wearing a gas mask.
Did he fail his drug test?
Did he? I don't know if he failed it. I know there was allegations of drug use and probably may have failed something.
Yeah, I mean, I would have just expected that from Warren Sapp. I mean, not in a negative way, but that's like I was just kind of thinking that's
part of my story.
Yes,
my great
There's
story.
a
Dude in the backfield that is quote the finisher. I don't remember who I was talking about.
Neither do I.
Himself.
Probably a good thing.
We got a little bit of a follow-up from yesterday. So we had the whole, who do you hate the most in sports? And I said Angel Reese. And we had a 10-minute discussion about that. I didn't even realize that she won Sportswoman of the Year at the BET Awards over the past couple days. And some female boxer named Clarissa Shields, she tweeted out after this, and this is getting a lot of buzz. Still don't know how I didn't win the Sportswoman of the Year for the BET Awards, but congrats to Angel Reese and all the other nominees. I just thought accolades matter.
Oh, snap.
So the question is Angel Reese's popularity based on merit?
She's a good player. I mean, I wouldn't say she's not good. Is she good enough to get that? Maybe not, but it's not like she's completely out of left field. Like, she's a good player. It's not like she's just popular and a good-looking lady. Like, she is very good.
She's popular for being a villain.
But she's good, too.
She's good. She's a rebounder. She's taller than most of them, probably. I don't know.
But she's not the MVP.
Yeah, that's what's tough.
Asia Wilson.
Yeah.
Yes, you have someone who's the MVP, not an MVP of the league win it, which is crazy.
The other thing about her is her reaction to that foul with Caitlin Clark, which that foul was really nothing. She was by herself underneath the basket, getting ready to lay it in, and Caitlin made sure that she couldn't get the shot off, is what you want to do, but she didn't bully her, and her reaction to it was so over the top, it made you think that there is some personal feeling towards Caitlin Clark that's beyond just a competitive basketball thing. That's all it is. I mean, that's just being real about it. It's just that reaction. And then when her teammate was botting Clark to the ground and she was the one getting up, all cheering about it. So she's leaned into the villain 100%. But also, Bob, not really telling the truth about it because she's acting like
she's the victim. Yeah, I get it.
She's played both sides of it. That's why I think
sometimes, Rothman, you like to feel a little dangerous, but also safe.
That's what's happening here.
I'm floating pretty good. The pills are fine.
This is so great.
He keeps everything. That's the bad
Anthony
part.
Rothman, not that good looking.
Gosh, I wish you would have been here, Cole. Matty did a great job, but you're...
I've nicknamed him the Drop King because he just keeps everything.
You have the
B&J against the world. B&J is against the world because are they married?
I don't know who B&J are.
Bill and Jordan. Bill Belichick and Jordan.
They are. Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Are they? Or are they engaged?
I can't wait. I was asking Bo.
Tell the truth, Bob.
I was asking Bo, the defensive end we just got in, about that a little bit, and it was pretty funny because he was down there in the spring.
Bo Atkinson.
Bo Atkinson, yeah. So
with the stick in the box.
That's so good.
Don't burn them all.
I think I'm like a hard fix.
He's burning every last drop he has.
Here's the thing. I can lure a lot more of these out of him.
That's right. You could, so be careful.
The kids are playing their tail off, and the coaches are screwing it up.
Okay, do you know when that drop occurred?
At Ohio State.
Yeah.
That was my senior year in 2005. They were about to go up 24 to 12. And you know what they did? They couldn't figure out what to do, spike it. People were running on and off the field. They didn't have a wing. They're kicking like a 15-yard field goal. It's sure points. And then we switched our block. And they're like, why? We're blocking from the short side. And he's like, there's no wing over here.
I mean, they're up 10. I know you want the points. It's going into halftime. So the clock tick, 9 seconds, 8 seconds. 05, right?
Yeah, it was a 10-point swing. We went from going to be down 24-12 to 19-17. Or 24-10 or something, 19-17. It was crazy.
But they actually got the snap. They eventually got the snap off, but would they have been flagged on the play with a guy running off?
They didn't have enough guys. Well, they had enough men on the line of scrimmage, so they were fine. They just didn't have a wing off the ball.
Yeah.
That was amazing. So that happened on our sideline, or in Ohio Stadium on his sideline. It was amazing.
That is unbelievable.
By the way, I also tied the single game sack record in that, Cole, so that's also part of the truth of that story.
There you go.
We had 12 as a team that game. Poor Drew Stanton, we destroyed him in the second half.
Speaking of coaches, here's a Pat Shurmur drop that I've never played. I don't even know who he was coaching at the time, but it's funny.
We did a drill today where we were actually trying to throw incompletions.
Probably the Browns.
We did a drill. We're trying to throw.
We did a drill today where we were actually trying to throw incompletions.
Probably the Browns.
Probably the Browns.
Yeah, makes sense. He was their head coach for a year or whatever.
And here's Tyvis.
Nearly an interception by Tyvis Powell. What a mischance that was.
That's rough, Joe.
Jeez.
Go easy on him. Before we get out of here, thanks for having me on. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate you calling. And I want to wish my parents, Rob and Susie, a happy 48th wedding anniversary today.
Wonderful.
So congrats to those two lovebirds.
Yeah, fantastic. Enjoy that. Bob, thanks, man. Just texted him, and he just blew right through. Appreciate you, my man. We'll talk to you tomorrow. It will be a Gold Jacket Thursday. Rondé Barber will join. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
T-Bone and Tyvis are everything you want in a delicious breakfast. Lots of empty calories, no nutritional value.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
For a lot of us, saving up a down payment can be the biggest barrier to buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus. Because everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
The most common form of treatment for the arthritic joints is normally cortisone injections and gel shots and over-the-counter medications. And most patients have tried all of that and are still in pain.
Every day, Dr. Aaron Wolkoff, a QC Kinetics medical director, meets patients who have exhausted every method to get relief. They've been told surgery is their only option.
They want to stay away from that path, and they come to us almost as the last hope. So we're using our own body's properties to help manage pain, to help slow arthritis down, keep the patients active with no downtime, and getting back to what they enjoy doing. I mean, I love what I do.
QC Kinetics regenerative treatments from our board-certified providers help heal and restore aching joints. No surgery, harmful drugs, or downtime. Call for your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Hey, it's Anthony. Comfort is king. We all strive for it, but life gets in the way. You know that. And oh, my aching feet is not just a cliche. That's why the Good Feet store, in my opinion, has the best arch support solutions engineered to help you and me live the life we love without pain. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. I'm a customer. I have their 3-step system put right into all my shoes. They support, balance, and strengthen my feet and really guide them right into their ideal position. Every step I take, every move I make, I get relief. Not from the song, although I love that, but from my personally fit arch supports from the Good Feet store. Your free fitting is designed to help them understand you, your pain, and your discomfort, your personalized system. You'll walk out wearing your new arch supports hassle-free and begin living the life you love without pain. The Good Feet store on Stringtown Road in Grove City or Polaris Parkway. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, as Care grew over the years, you had many opportunities to sell Care to one of the big conglomerates that are buying companies all over Central Ohio. So tell our customers why you decided to keep Care in the family.
After talking about Care's values for over 30 years, I couldn't bear the thought of Care becoming the kind of company I was warning our customers about. I know the two of you will continue to treat our customers as I would, with honesty and integrity.
We will, Dad. In 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
It's summer. Time to enjoy long days, lazy nights, and great food. Because Uber Eats has deals all summer long. So, when hunger strikes, don't sweat it. Delicious deals are just a tap away on Uber Eats. Enjoy all your favorite grocery items delivered straight to you. Get ice cream, soda, and snacks from your favorite stores like Wegmans and CVS and make the most of every moment. Now that sounds like a good summer. Order now on Uber Eats. Terms apply. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.